in the esports arena that are going to get started right about now. But first things first, my name is Blora. Joining me on the analyst desk to have more conversation, it is none other than the incredibly talented, the humble friend. It is the wonderful Pain Fixes. All right,
Thank you
I got
so
that.
much.
I got that.
Thank you.
For a minute there, I
Yeah.
was almost about to go the other way around. But
I
it
know,
is.
I know. But finally, it's a new slate from today onwards. We are in the semi-finals, and
Oh,
like we
yes.
had mentioned earlier, this time we have different maps as well. All the new flavors coming in. We have
This.
Miramar,
Oh,
Sandhawk,
yes.
Vikendi also joining Erangel. So. Talking about today's games, it's gonna be
Right.
Erangel and Miramar. We have seen, Godsent, who was formerly known as
True.
Shakespeare Temple, really proving their might, and they had cemented their way into the semifinals. But now all the teams have started figuring them out, and
Exactly.
the gap had been closer. So this time around, I'm certainly expecting some intense action from all the teams.
Absolutely, as all the other teams go towards that top-notch team that was earlier called JXP Tempo, now with the organization back in Godsent, indeed is what they're going to be called moving into the semi-finals itself. As those other teams try and catch up, the one more thing that these teams are trying to catch up to is, of course, the prize pool. And the
Yeah.
prize pool itself for Umzansi Esports League, when you talk about Season 1 and 2 combined, is 1 million rands. That is a wonderful, incredible feat that has been made possible by, of course, Nodwin Gaming. And right here, we have the subdivisions for the same as we look at CSGO, PUBG Mobile, FIFA 20, and Tekken 7, where 493,000 rands is for the PUBG Mobile teams.
And almost half of the prize pool,
Wow.
entirely showcasing how PUBG Mobile as a game, as an esports, has developed and has taken the entire world by its amazing,
Oh,
amazing
yes.
action that comes over here. But right now, for all these teams, definitely we did see the prize pool. But which are the teams that are going to be playing? So we start off with Team Vibe, INV Gaming, House of Animus, Dark Dragons, EFX, Nibble Odyssey, Ogem Elite, Sparza Gaming. So these are the set of 8 teams, but we still have more teams that are definitely gonna be joining, and we will get to see them in just a bit of a moment right now.
Absolutely, because as we move on to the second page, that is where I believe we are going to be looking at the second half of the teams that we are to look forward to.
Yeah.
These are teams that were looking phenomenal as they moved on from round 1 to round 2 because they changed their pace. But this is the page I'm talking about, where indeed, right off the bat, you've got Team NFX Unique. They've made it into the semifinals
They
with
sure
a very
did.
convincing scoreline.
Absolutely. They were struggling up until the
Right.
last day. And in that particular day, they just went all berserk. They got those amazing, amazing kills for themselves. And a lot of teams have just inched in. So now, as we mentioned earlier, now the points have been reset. Everyone is on equal footing. But let's take a look at the teams, the last 4 playing teams. And by the last 4 playing teams, these were the best playing teams. Godsend Temper, BBC, For You Quest, and Blink. Godsend Temper definitely does have a ring to it, and I love it.
Absolutely does, and with that sort of a smacking performance that they've showcased in round 1 as well as round 2, and moving in from round 2 into the semi-finals, they were on such a convincing lead in terms of points as well as skills that they could very well have started their own little saga going on the side by that team itself, because all the other teams were so very far behind. But nevertheless, as we now move into semi-finals, of course, we're looking at 4 wonderful maps that are going to be played across the weekends, and that means other teams will have an opportunity
Yeah.
to catch up to the likes of Godsend, not only in terms of kills, but of course that first chicken dinner as well.
Absolutely. Now taking a look at the point structure that we have to get those, to be on the top, you need to secure points. So it has been pretty standard. This is the standard point system that we have been using from quite a long time. And the first position getting 20 points, second 15, third coming down to 12th, and up until 11th position. So okay, so this is a new point system that has been made for the 20 teams. So I will have to again narrate it out. For the first position, we get 20, second gets 15, third 12, fourth 10, and so on, and it reduces till 13th position, where you get just that 1 point, and from there onwards till 20th you still have that 1 point. But what really sets this point table on top is the fact that you have that 1 point for every single kill.
Absolutely, and when it comes to those kills, I believe this time around, all 20 teams are right off the bat from match number 1 itself going to be showcasing that A-class performance in terms of sheer dominance and completely obliterating the competition in front, or rather so I hope.
Absolutely. Now that 20 teams are going to be playing in the lobby, we are going to see some explosive
Oh,
action
yes.
right from the get-go.
Oh, yes.
All the teams, competing for those vehicles, going all in, sparing none, some blood being shed in Erangel, in Miramar, Vikindi, Sandhawk as well. So none of the teams are going to be left out. Every single team has to play every games that we will be having throughout the weekend.
True.
But, yes, this is where the teams are going to be put to test. JXP Temper, now known as Godsend Temper, are gonna be tested to their skills. We know how good they are in Erangel, but we will have to see, can they put the same run in the other maps as well? Because every single map has a different flavor to it, different play style, different approach. A lot of maps have different timings. So,
And you know what? I mean, based on just that fact itself,
yeah.
I am keeping my fingers crossed for all the other teams, because once again, as they try and catch up to the temperament of the likes of Godsend now,
Yeah.
I am sure they automatically are certainly looking forward to other maps as well that they believe are going to be sheer dominance for them.
Yeah.
And that is where I believe other teams are going to be able to hopefully showcase themselves apart.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100% agree on that. And I'm really excited for the first game because 20 teams, it's gonna be a lot of action.
Absolutely. With that, of course, let's quickly get into match number 1 with our casters indeed, who are none other than DK and Pachi. Over to you, mate.
There we go. Thank you so much to Bloodton Fixers and Bashi. We've got quite the interesting night lined up for today. So this is going to be a really, really interesting one, moving up in towards the semi-finals. So, man, it's going to be hot. It's going to be really, really hot.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, I don't expect anything else. And moving into this week, I'm really, really excited because I hinted a couple of weeks ago that I was ready and waiting for some of the teams to step up. And as our analysts were talking about just now, yeah, we have a chance now. Lots and lots of teams now definitely getting that opportunity to start stepping up, start getting in towards the top spots. Obviously, Temper, they've been pretty much dominant for the last few weeks, and it has been kind of insane. But I indicated that I thought that they could definitely be dethroned. So I think there's still a chance. Yeah. I think some of these teams can step it up. We have so many teams that are really, really capable, really, really good, that can really make something happen here. I mean, I don't have to even tell you what teams we're looking at. There's just so many good teams that I really, really think they can step it up, and this is their chance. This is where they have to do that, and I think they can.
Yeah, well, let's see, because it's like you said, it's definitely going to be a very, very tough one, and there's quite a bit on the line. Moving up in towards the semis, so the teams really need to bring that performance up. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what it is that these teams will be able to do, when we get into the next stage. Because now is that point where we want to see the fight, we want to see that aggression, want to see that action coming in from the teams, And I'm really, really hope that is what we're going to be seeing in this round. And I'm really looking forward to it, rather. As I think the teams are also pretty ready to show us what they've got and, what they've got in store for us. As you can see, the flight path already underway here. The teams making their way around, and that flight path taking us all the way there from just east of Yasnaya, and of course heading up over to that Sosnovka military base.
Yeah. So nice flight path, definitely Patchy approved there. As you could see down that military base, could potentially draw a couple of those teams to drop down in there. But I mean, the real crux of the matter is always that zone. The flight path is one thing, but the zone is always the second piece of that little puzzle that really determines what happens on the map. And really that combination, that starting combo of the first flight path with that first zone is really how, determining how the map is going to play out and where the teams are going to have to rotate, etc. So yeah, we're just going to see where these teams get down into and where that first zone drops. Now, having a look here, we're going to see quite a number of teams actually just taking their way on in towards that island already, dropping down in towards Yasnaya, maybe potentially going for a little bit further for Vorozhok, and a couple of teams moving towards the military base as well, so I'm liking it.
Yeah, well, as you can see, they are definitely spreading out, and there's actually quite a big concentration of players heading in the area there of the Yasnaya, you know, the Yasnaya spot. So that section alone is going to be quite packed. And of course, you know, this whole, well, section towards the southern part. But just looking at the map now, as we can see up in the north there, the zone has shifted up once again, taking us right up into that area. And, you know, forcing the players that's made their position all the way down in that southern side to, you know, start rolling right back up, you know, once they've got all their loot in. And, well, maybe we might see some of the teams, you know, setting up a bit of a gatekeep on the side of that zone.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those zones that causes a lot of potential sort of for that gatekeeping, like you say, especially when a lot of that zone is already water, which makes it a lot smaller. So you can see the early fights happening now already. Unique going to be taking the first bit of aggression there. Reverb getting hit pretty hard. So this is really nice. I'm liking the pace at which this game is really starting off.
Yeah, and it's got some great potential as the fight then, of course, continues here. The players from Unique just tapping away. You see the team just off in the distance there. And I mean, oh, this is really, really going to be a tough one. They've already put several hits in, and there we go. So EFX now getting hit in the process. We're seeing the players here from Oxy as well. Also now just making their rotation, heading in. Oh, there we go, the onslaught. Oh, man. Yeah. Now, this is going to be a super, super entertaining match to watch, as these teams are not wasting any seconds. They are just, you know, just going at it straight on, full on aggression. And that is what we love to see.
Yeah, we certainly do. And I mean, that's what we expect to see as well. I mean, going into this, all of these teams know that 100% is all that they can give right now. That's everything they need to give. Hainsley going to be taking some hits. They're Unique, getting into quite a bit of fights at the moment. So, nice pacing going here. It's Nero going to be pushing up for the Dragons there, of course. But yeah, I'm really liking this. These teams, they have to give 100%, and that's exactly what they're looking to do here. They need to put their best foot forward pretty much every step of the way through this one, and put as many points on the board as possible.
Well, let's see. Will they be able to get it? Oh, the shots now just flying between the teams here. The Dragons and the players there from Unique just battling around for control of this fuel station. And you can see we got Sorry and one of his teammates still moving about. Doesn't seem like there's any loot or any luck for Sorry just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting as well that the zone going all the way up north does mean that so much of the southern portion of that zone is very, very jam-packed. And the fact that we have a lot of teams down south below that as well mean that that's potentially a spot that could get very crazy if the teams don't rotate. Now, luckily, we are seeing quite a number of teams actually moving their way on up. They are just pushing out upward in towards the less populated areas. Of course, you have EVX all the way up in Savoni. We've got Reluctant up in Stelba and Komeshki. So some of the teams are definitely moving up. You can see on your map there, they are just pushing up a little bit by little bit. But we still have so many teams down, to the south. So all of those teams are going to have to move up at some point, and there are really only three ways they can go. It's up north, to the west, or to the east.
Oh, look at that. We got some AFK players now also getting shot at. There we go. So this is quite a tough one, and as you can see, I agree with what you were saying about those teams sitting in the southern side having to rotate up. And you said they can only go up in one of three ways, So I'm curious to see. Oh, Skydo flinging himself out of the vehicle there.
Woo! Official PUBG match confirmed.
Yes. All right, but I'm curious to see what these teams are going to do. Which way they're going to approach it. Coming into the zone, because it is quite the packed southern region of this map here. And if the teams are not too careful, they might just get sent back into the lobby fairly early on. I mean, seeing that we have 20 players in this lobby.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the stakes that we like. We like those odds. We want to see some of these teams getting absolutely knocked out early. We want to see these teams rotating up to glory. We want to see it all. And this is the start right here. This is the start. We're going to see how things are happening. You can see quite a number of teams located around Malta at the moment. Towards the east, towards the west, of course, we've got quite a number of teams there as well. We have two teams down in that military base, earning some of those points from myself. And then mostly the teams up inside the zone are just sort of spread out across in a sort of crescent at the bottom, a couple of teams up north, but most of them just sitting here sort of across the board from west to east towards the bottom. So yeah, I guess we're just going to see the fights break out as the teams start to really rotate and the zone starts to get a bit smaller.
Yeah, we're still waiting for those players there from House of Anubis to make their rotation out from that Novo crates. And of course, you can see the team from EFX also slowly but surely heading up. We got Oxy just up ahead of them. Ikasi also not too far away. And if we look into the zone, you can see we got the Citizens there. We've got Vibrant. We've got Gun, Odyssey. We've got the players from the Outsiders. We also have the players there from Unique. So quite the packed section that we have coming into that northern part. And man, are we in for a show as these teams are just going to start ripping it up and the shots are just going to go all over the place. As well, there's 20 teams still remaining. There's so many players left.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 70
Wow.
players left. I mean, but this is good. This is good. You know, having a lot of teams early on means that once that blue zone starts to come in, which it is doing, you know, we have a lot of teams inside that first couple of zones, the first 2 or 3 zones. That's a lot of teams, and that means a lot of fighting or potential fighting. Because a lot of the time when we have like a reduced number, you know, it's a lot more difficult to find consistent fighting. But with so many players on the board, you know, there's going to be a lot more jam-packed areas. You know, teams going to rotate up, find their place already occupied. So we're going to see a lot more fighting a lot earlier on, which is great. Maybe that will leave the sort of mid portion of the game to be a little bit less active, but that's fine because that means we also have a very active late, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be a tough one, and I don't think we were expecting anything less coming into the semis. But I mean, even just for a semi, this is an absolutely super tough match. 20 teams going into the zone. It's going to get really cramped, and I'm just looking forward to all the action that is about to come. As you can see, the players here from Gun now just trying to put a few shots into the team there from Vibrant.
Okay, I'm not too sure if we just lost DK there. I'm not 100%. But, well, I'm just going to continue on. 20 teams, 69 players, nice. And, well, on your screen here, you can, of course, see the Gun squad there chilling just across the way from Vibe. Some shots going across Vibe. Actually just taking the fights with a couple of teams at the moment, all the way the long distance across towards the Natural Killers as well. They're just going to be putting the hits right on in to have a look and see what they can find. And, well, that blue zone has indeed moved in. The new zone getting chosen just momentarily. Envy actually going to be taking a fight here against Vibe as well. So Vibe really just trying to put the hits in at the moment, really trying to find a lot of teams nearby, which is great. The fights happening all across the board is what we like to see. But with that zone moving up north once again, it is going to mean that these teams are going to have to rotate up towards that zone, getting their way on up there. A lot of teams choosing to go up towards the sides. We've had a lot of teams coming in from the east, a lot of teams coming in from the west, still plenty of teams down towards the south as well, so definitely a lot of potential for fighting over the next couple of minutes. You can see that zone about to move in 55 seconds. Once again, you can see crosshairs of all these players just looking in all the directions. Envy, of course, right here next to Vibe, and the team from Gun, who are just sitting there at the moment. In the meantime, the Exiles on your screen here, as you can see, they are just up here in Pachinki and right next to the players from Oxium as well as Ikasi. Quest going to be trying to put some hits across. That is, of course, Robbie's going to take some hits. So, yeah, this is a nice way to start off the match. Some early fights happening all across the board as the teams now trying to rotate up in towards that zone. Players just getting reduced one by one. And, yeah. This is what we're waiting for, really. Waiting to see if these teams will continue to clash. Now, of course, we are watching the Exiles at the moment, who are up here with the team from Oxium. We'll see if Oxium do manage to just push up on them, or if the Exiles will be able to rotate out in time. In the meantime, of course, most of those teams getting their way on up into the zone, making themselves nice and secure for that spot. Just setting themselves on up. You can see a couple of teams like Vibe, Envy, and Gun just sitting in a little bit of a trifecta there. Of course, we have a couple of teams in Yaznaya as well. That, of course, being the team from Temper and Odyssey. Now, of course, we've come to expect quite a bit from Temper in recent times. They've been performing absolutely phenomenally. But now we're in the semifinals. Now it is the time, or for these teams to start stepping up. The semis is definitely, you know, the point where the teams need to start stepping up, showing themselves. And, you know, I've heard a lot of feedback from some of the teams and some of the talk going on in the background, and a lot of teams are feeling very confident to step up and try and put themselves out there, try and put themselves up on that board, and not let Tampa run away with it like they did in the previous round. So I'm going to have a look and see if that is true, or if Tampa will continue their reign of dominance, as it were. We, of course, will have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, that blue zone moving up once again, just going to be closing things in, squeezing these teams together. A couple of teams rotating up from the west and from the south as well. A lot of teams concentrated around Yasnaya. Of course, Tampa just sitting there with Odyssey. The team from INV moving up there and actually might just come up on towards the team from Reluctant. They were just up north of Yasnaya. So, yeah, lots of potential action ready and awaiting to happen across the board. All right, here it is. Okay, Deity going to be taking some shots as the Dragons, well, getting caught out just a little bit, leaving us with 19 teams now. So that is our first team knocked out, I believe. Yes, the Dragons get sent back to the lobby first, and they will not be the last team being sent back to the lobby, as these teams look to put themselves on the board, start with that strong foot forward. And that zone actually closing in right towards the center is going to push all these teams in once again. We're going to have a look and see how they fare. Tons and tons of teams off towards the east there by Yasnaya. Lots of teams just scattered across the rest of the board. Not many of them inside the zone just yet, so potential gatekeeping could come about, especially with some of the teams sitting by that bridge. Lots and lots of teams now starting to make their way on up. You can see on the clock there, just under 40 seconds for the zone to move in once again. So these teams really are on the clock, really are trying to move in as quickly as possible, and that does mean that we are going to see those shots flying. Reluctant now tossing those Grens in towards INV to try and catch them out here. The execute coming through. Let's see if they can make it happen. The shots now flying off. This is a close one. They're trying to find the team from Reluctant. INV trying to launch the attack. Can they land the hits? That's the question. Thigh Slay going to go down, as well as Smitty and Blitz. Can this happen now? Inspector has to land these shots, and he's going to make it happen. There it is, done and dusted there. They've gotten those hits in pretty successfully, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It is Reluctant now sent back to the lobby. So well done and well played for the team there from INV, sending Reluctant on back to the lobby. A successful assault from them, but they do not need to move at the moment, actually, because they are inside the zone at the moment. It is only a couple of other teams that do need to make their way on in, House of Anubis being one of those, Odyssey just making their way in. The team from Quest, they're actually needing to come in from the South Oxium, as well as the team from, is that Mecha 6? Not 100% sure. But yes, the team's now getting their way on into that zone, which is slowly and surely becoming a lot smaller. And these teams are just wiping one another out bit by bit. You can see the shots in the kill feed. They're flying from the team from Odyssey up towards Vibe as they do make their way on in. You can see on your screen all those teams just settling themselves inside that zone, finding their spot, making sure that they are sitting comfortably before that zone closes in once again. That blue zone obviously coming in has done a little bit of damage, but so far nothing too insane. You can see the crosshairs now from the Natural Killers trained over towards Odyssey, but the shot's actually flying in the opposite direction as well. So they're finding a difficult spot to be in right now. Can they hold it up? Are they just going to sit pretty in their spot? Of course, the Natural Killers occupying a nice central spot, and House of Anubis now actually putting some good shots in. Trying to find the hits. Pronto taking a little in return as well. Citizens just trying to put those across as well. So we have quite a number of shots flying. Temp actually putting them in towards INV as well. So the shots flying across the board pretty much everywhere. But that blue zone has moved in. The new zone has been chosen, and it's all the way down towards the southern portion of the playable area. And that means a lot more rotations going to come in, and when we see rotations, we also see a lot of fighting, which is great. Because obviously as the teams start to move up, they expose themselves, and then once they get in towards the zone, they might already find that to be occupied. So lots and lots of fights definitely going to be happening very, very soon as the teams now start to make their way in. Temper moving very quickly to just get over that line. lots of other teams now on the outside going to start moving their way on. And there is space in the zone, but I say space. There's 62 players left in this lobby, 18 teams alive at the moment. When it comes to space, not everyone can fit inside, and they know that. You can see Unique putting the hits in, Godsend, Temper also putting the hits in towards Vibe, so lots of fights now happening across the board as House of Anubis trying to make their way in towards that zone. The Natural Killers and Unique going to be there to greet them. Of course, INV moving in from the north as well. Meanwhile, Quest taking a lot of damage, so that is very, very deep for them. Odyssey going to just be rolling up on Quest as well.
Yeah, that was some crazy shooting, and Unique now just trying to fend off the players as they now push in. The shots still flying back and forth. Oh no! Supreme blowing up his team.
Oh,
what?
That is unfortunate.
Wow, that is super tough, man. Oh my goodness. No, I can't think that I can't imagine that he would be too happy with that, but wow, that is a very interesting turn of events. As you can see, the players here from House of Anubis now putting some shots over towards the Natural Killers we have just down below. Then of course we got the team there from EFX just off in the distance. INV now also with the Citizens. So 15 teams in a zone of this size. Holy man, it is gonna be a tough one. Wow.
Absolutely. And you can see those shots already flying. I mean, these teams have been fighting very, very consistently, really trying to put the hits in. And that's no surprise. We started with a ton of teams in this lobby. And, well, just bit by bit, they've been whittled away one by one. We're on 15 teams, 46 players, and the shots still flying. Temper trying to put those in towards Odyssey. Just a couple of hits to keep them honest, to keep them on their toes. And actually, the shots from Gun going to seal the deal, take them out. So 14 teams now remaining.
Yo, but this is going to be super tough. As you see, the teams all now slowly but surely moving in. A few of them still caught in that perimeter of the zone. We got the players all the way down there, of course. Berserk and Staples right there with the players from Oxy. So that being Yanni and Rix, the two of them. Hopefully they can make their entry into that zone. And of course, the players here from INV, as you can see on the screen, just moving back and forth, seeing if they can spot any of the teams. Their House of Anubis now tapping off some more hits. Wow, I want to talk about a super tough match. This is definitely one of them. And there we go. Frieza gets the knock with the vehicle. That is what we love to see. That is just fantastic.
Yeah, 10 patchy points per squish.
Oh, man. Inkosi now getting hit in the process as well. You can just see the action there in the northern side. And of course, the players here making their way around. Berserk just trying to move that vehicle up. INV now keeping a watchful eye on the players there from House of Anubis right up ahead. Let's see, will they move that zone, of course, being all the way down in towards the south. So it's going to be a really tough one for these teams to move up into, as they have quite some distance to cover to get up into that zone.
Not to mention the fact that we have 40 players alive that have to fit in a zone that is like 300, 400 meters wide. That's different.
No, that's just insane. I mean, and the team there from Gun also putting a quick few shots in towards the team from Temper. So let's see now, will House of Anubis be able to make anything from this position? Of course, just on the outskirts of that zone, we've got the outsiders just off in the distance from their position. Ooh, there we go. The BBC, so not too far away.
Yeah, so we've got a really nice setup at the moment. We've got 4 or so teams up towards the north that still need to make their way on down. We've got a couple of teams just sitting around the edges of the zone as it is at the moment. And what I'm seeing is down in the south, we've got a couple of teams sort of maybe getting a little bit of a gatekeep in. Nice explosion coming on towards President as they try and rotate. INV now pushing down in towards the zone. But a lot of teams still need to make their way in, still need to claim some of those spots for themselves. And that's really going to open up the fights.
Yeah. I definitely will, and you can see Berserk and company now just trying to move in. Some more hits flying up there from the Natural Killers between the outsiders as well as the team from, well, EFX. You see the shots just coming in, and the nades now from Temper side just coming in as they're trying to move their way up to that compound, or maybe just rather position themselves in a better way. They're right on that zone. They do have a bit of an advantage, of course, if they use this terrain, which they are currently doing. You know, the hills next to, well, the hills and the rocks that we've got, not the hills, the cliffs, whatever. the rocky area there next to that river, you know, just using it as their hard cover, trying to move up. You can see some more hits now coming in. Oh, Oxy down to the only player left now, that being Yanni. Briggs, of course, getting taken out. Now let's see, will he be able to get in? Ooh, beautiful.
That was a heavy hit. That was absolutely devastating. Berserk is now the only one left, and he's not going to last very long. Gun's just going to finish it straight off. I mean, this is insane. This is really, really, really a tough spot to be in. Really, really a tough spot to be in. You can see the teams moving from the north as well. Little cluster up there. Outsiders getting hit. We have Temper actually in a little bit of a three-way there. We've got BBC in a really pole position right in the middle. The shots are just absolutely flying. I mean, this zone is crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely is. And BBC just putting in hit after hit once again. Now we've got Slim and Risk here just sneaking up on the side where we've got Temper. So hopefully we might see a little bit of a push there. Temper still trying to get those hits in towards BBC, and the Natural Killers now getting hit by INV. 6 teams remaining, 20 players left. And a super, super small zone. Several players still on the outskirts of that zone, as you can see, just hanging around on the edge of the blue. So we're waiting to see who's going to start moving in. We got a team from INV right there next to BBC. Then, of course, Gun and Temper right here behind them. So, well, yeah, let's see what they're going to make of this.
Yeah, I want to see what BBC can do as well, because they basically have the only decent conceivable cover at the moment. And we've seen them in this position before, and I really want to see them hold on to it for as long as possible. At the moment, actually, you can see one of the BBC players just off in the distance, a bit of a straggler here with INV and Temper, who's taking quite a few hits, and INV just looking to pull the trigger and maybe just stop Temper's run in towards that whole position there, which is really great to see. Of course, we have 6 teams and 17 players remaining now. Those shots just absolutely flying across the entire map. A huge cluster of players. Nos trying to jump out and find some hits, trying to keep alive, but it's so difficult to dance around the smoke.
I mean, this is going to be super, super tough. Let's see, will they get it? Oh, no. Oh, man, what a play by INV. Taking them down, sending them right into the lobby. So we've got 5 teams remaining now. But INV now also getting claimed. Ooh, for luck, landing that finishing blow. So just like that, we go from 6 teams down to 4. We've got the players here, of course. Quest now trying to move up, trying to find those hits on the team just up ahead in the difference there. You can see distance, not difference. House of Anubis, BBC, everyone just trying to find a spot in zone. Oh, man, this is super, super intense. We've got Gun on that hill, slowly but surely moving in, as you can see off in the distance. House of Anubis, BBC, we've got the players there from Quest. So those are the 4 teams that we've got left in this lobby.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone's got a little piece in that zone. Just waiting now for the remainder of the House of Anubis team to make that push into zone, as Storm was the first one in, also the first one to get knocked.
Yeah, I don't know if House of Anubis can continue to hold on to this one. They really are taking quite a bit of damage here. It's going to be really difficult to move on in. Helios has to make a mad dash, and he's actually going to make it, but we'll see how long that's going to last. Nope, not very long. The shots to go straight through from BBC, using that pole position really, really well, keeping themselves in that cover. But now the shots coming through from Gun. We have also the Exiles just off in the distance as well. A couple of players just off to the distance. So we've got these 3 teams sitting in this 3-way in the zone about to get a whole lot smaller, and well, who knows what it is. Mad respect to INV though for taking out Temper though. They sacrificed themselves for that win. That was nice.
Yeah, so 3 teams there, BBC, Gun, and then Quest on the side. Let's see, will Lord get it? Blows it up, gets the knock in on Slim. So Gun now just sitting on the 2 players ahead, still flying in. Quest moving up.
Ooh.
There we go. Down goes Gun. Wow.
Oh, it's Quest versus BBC. And BBC have the man advantage.
We got Fear already pushing up right there to the side of the hill. Sneaks in, puts the hits in. Well, putting quite a bit of damage in that vehicle. Let's see, will he be able to maintain this? And of course, then potentially maybe get the knock. Because BBC is still on a full squad. So it's a 2v4. Wow.
This is going to be so difficult. But it's potentially doable. But they need to play absolutely perfectly. Like, there's no room for mistakes right now. Any one of these teams could take it. But BBC looking so strong, trying to put the hits in. The shots flying through the smoke, but not connecting. Oh,
Sorry, I can't speak. I'm just sitting here watching. It is absolutely insane. Zayn, now the last one left there for Quest. Let's see. Will he be able to put the hits in? BBC rushing in. Up they come. Oh, and it is done. BBC getting the chicken dinner. Well done. 10 kills to the name. Wow. That was just insane.
yeah. That was great. That was great to see. What an insane way to start things off this week. Brilliant stuff. Amazing fighting from start to finish, but really a really nicely set of zones nonetheless. I mean, these teams playing super well, and this is exactly what we were waiting to see from these teams to step it up, and they've done exactly that, and they've done exactly as I was suspecting they would do, and start to step it up and start to say, hey, Temper, you got 250 points, whatever the case is in the previous round. Not today. We're going to be taking those chickens, thank you. And of course, it's BBC stepping up to take that chicken. I mean, we've watched this team for so long, we've known what they're capable of, but now they're starting things off nice and strong.
Yeah, no, that was an absolutely insane finish, and well done to all the teams for putting up such a fight. I mean, we went with quite a big number of teams through a majority of this match, and only when we were moving into those final few zones, you know, that's where the teams actually started clashing and the shots started flying. And, you know, then we end up in a final zone like we just had, where BBC just absolutely dominated that one and just, well, rushed up into Quest, sending them right into that lobby. Fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely just something really good to see. These teams, they knew what was on the line, they knew what they had to do, and, well, they made sure they were putting it in.
Yeah, well, great job there. Well done, well played. And, man, I'm so looking forward to seeing what's going to come in the next match.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Wow, what a game coming in. I mean, BBC certainly did take me all the way back to round one memories, mate. What a play coming in from BBC indeed. And in that, they've indirectly showcased that, yep, when it comes to semi-finals, we were moving along with a few strategies, and now we're going to start showing them.
Absolutely. You know, this is still the first game, and BBC really putting up their best foot forward, and right off the get-go, getting so many kills. But alongside them, INV.
Right.
They've got a lot of kills, and so have the players from Team Gun. But if you talk about the circle as to how it favored, it went north, had a lot of water areas, a lot of teams speculating as to where it will end. But I really would have loved to see that bridge final circle, you know, all those players playing down, some players playing above, you have to park your vehicles. But right now, it was pretty easy for BBC in the final circle since they had the compounds. It was a 4v2 situation. They got that first knock, and they very well knew as to how to go and get the push going on towards the enemies, and they finished up. And with that, great chicken dinner.
Great chicken dinner indeed. And I mean, talking about, of course, Gun on the other side. What a play as well coming in from Gun, which is very well deserved, of course, because this is one of those teams that everybody had been keeping high hopes from. And of course, Gamers United Nation, they are here right now, starting off on the third spot. But of course, as we move on along, let's quickly also have a look at the leaderboard and find out what has been the story for other teams.
Absolutely, and there you go, BBC taking the chicken dinner with 10 kills. And INV Gaming, I told you, they did not have the best position points. They still were on the 4th, 5th, but still those 13 kills did really become very detrimental to decide which is gonna be on the 2nd position. And there you go, Gamers United Nation, courtesy to their 10 kills as well. They are tied with INV Gaming, and mind you, this is just the first game for UQuest. 4 kills but 15 position points, and now they are on the 4th position, so kind of living up to their name.
Absolutely are. And as we move on to 5th, of course, is House of Anubis, who we saw eventually getting knocked down, but they did put up a really good fight, a lot of aggressive plays. I mean, right off the bat, throughout this game, right off the bat, we started off with some incredible plays coming in where aggression was on point from every single team. I mean, third-party situations is what this game was.
Absolutely. It was all about those third play because it was an open circle.
Indeed.
It kind of gave an avenue for all those teams, those who were initially inside the circle, and for all the teams that were entering, you had that clear area where you could go all in. But taking a look at the teams that could not really fare off well this time around, we have Dark Dragons, Blink, and a few big names. Team EFX, a few good expectations from Team NF Unique as well. So this time on the 12th position, but this is just a start.
True.
We are still not into a phase. We do not have enough sample size to say, okay, this team has done this team has done. I have completely wiped off my mind. I want to see, because talking about Godsend Temper,
Right.
they came up cementing their way through from the second round to the semi-finals, but the first game did not work out. Maybe Miramar can just be their game, or maybe we can see some team from the lower half that we've seen 16 teams, but this time we have 20. So maybe quite some esports clutching their way out through holding on. We know this team is popular, this team is well known for holding off, and they could work on that kill department, but chicken dinner is a chicken dinner.
Absolutely, indeed is. And of course, as you so beautifully mentioned, yep, it's only the first game.
Yeah.
It's only the first game. I mean, semi-finals have just started. For the next 3 weekends, it is going to be a grind. It is going to be a haul for a lot of these teams to try and catch up to each other, simply put. Because again, every single day you're looking at different maps.
Yeah.
And of course, 2 matches per day does imply that every day throughout the semi-finals, perhaps the strategies are going to be changing. Perhaps the drop locations are going to be changing. And thus, bringing in, of course, 20 teams playing together in one lobby, bringing in that aggression from all the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. The aggression is definitely gonna come in, because this 20 teams are it might just look like, oh my goodness, 4 teams have just joined. How much the game can change?
Right.
But I must tell you, it completely
Exactly.
changes, because right off the get-go, you get to see a lot of teams clashing for that one area that they love, and this is just one map.
Exactly. I was just going to move on to Sandhawk.
Yeah.
When we move on to Sandhawk tomorrow, what is going to take place? Because again, when you talk about this map of Erangel, you know for a fact when it comes to the tile size, this is a still much larger map compared to, of course, Sandhawk, which is on a completely different tertiary level altogether. And that map, 20 teams on top, is going to be just blunder, third party, fourth party, through and through, aggression coming in from all the teams is what I'm hoping for. And again, right now, when we talk about just match number 1, 3 teams, the top 3 teams, ended up taking 31 kills off of the lobby. So that was quite a huge chunk. But as you move on forth, hopefully other teams will do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way things have started off.
Right.
But, after the break that we will be going to, so, Miramar is going to come. So I'm really excited. What about you?
Oh, yes, indeed, because this is going to be an incredible start for all of these 20 teams, as they have gotten that much more closer to the prize pool, as well as, of course, moving into the finals itself. With that, we're going to go on a very short break, coming after which, of course, is match number 2, where indeed we move on to Miramar.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Right, so we are getting ready for our second match. This one, of course, heading straight up in towards that Miramar map. So that is definitely going to change things up. The players, of course, now having played on the Wrangle map for all the previous weeks and games. And now this one, we're moving them up in towards Miramar. So that is definitely going to be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be definitely very, very interesting to have a look at and see how these teams now, just shape their play style a little bit, adapt towards that map. As we know, it's a lot bigger. You have to, play a lot more actively. The strats are not the same. Everything has to sort of shift a little bit. So definitely going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, who's going to be, thriving in this map. It's definitely going to be a very, very interesting one, and I'm quite keen.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. And well, yeah, it's good to have a bit of a change up, have the teams playing in a different environment, different map, seeing what they can do, So tomorrow we're also bringing in, as they mentioned, the two other maps that, of course, being the Sanok and, well, the Vikendi map. So, yeah, that is definitely going to make things super, super interesting. But so for today, we're looking forward to that Miramar map, seeing where these teams are going to go, what they're going to do, and, well, yeah, what that zone's going to end up doing as well.
Yeah, definitely keen to have a look. And we've seen some very interesting zones here on Miramar specifically. In the past, there's been very, very interesting ones. We've seen unplayable areas. We've seen all kinds of things. So I'm definitely also interested to see what happens this time around, if it's going to be a little bit more tame than that, if the entry of these teams into Miramar for the first time is going to be a little bit easier, or if they're just going to get thrown straight into the deep end, which will be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we will only know once the match, of course, then gets underway. So I think we're about to get that started. So the suspense is building, waiting to see what's going to happen, what that flight path is going to look like, and of course then where the teams are going to go. So unfortunately, in this one, Patchy, there won't be any Sosnovka military base for the teams to drop into. So you're going to have to pick another spot for them to earn those Patchy points.
You know exactly where I'm going to go. You know exactly where I'm going to go on this one. We have that island all the way down towards the south. It is there. So, I need not say anything more.
Yeah, well, so we're just waiting now for everything to get ready and underway, and then we can see where that flight path is going to take us. And yeah, once again, the teams in this lobby, man, it has been super, super tough. And it's great to see the teams really bringing that action, bringing that aggression, which is what we were hoping for, seeing that we were, moving into the semifinals. And man, oh man, it is absolutely beautiful to see, I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm looking forward, to everything continuing onwards from here. And yeah, well, can't wait.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting, especially considering, we've seen such a very one-sided performance in the previous round, and now we're coming into this one, and we started this off really, really well, with the first round, of course, being very nice, BBC coming out on top. So I'm very interested to see if that trend is going to continue, if we'll see some other teams start to rise to the top. Who is going to be the victor coming out of all this? Who's going to be the leader, if there is one? Or is this just going to be super competitive? Is everyone going to be neck and neck the whole way up? I don't know. It's difficult to tell, considering the performance of these teams in the previous map was really, really, really good.
Yeah, well, I've got my fingers crossed. And, Miramar is known for its size and, known for the space between the players. So hopefully we'll see a few teams, of course, dropping fairly close together so we can get some of that early game action. Otherwise, it is going to take quite some time till the teams actually, then start bumping into each other. And when that zone eventually then starts forcing them close enough so we can actually see that happening. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of a change up in play style there, and have the teams playing, well, a more of a strategic game, going out, starting that hunting that we've been speaking about a few times. And, well, that would definitely be quite beneficial. So let's see what happens. We do have the plane that has taken off already, so not much time left. There we go. You can see that flight path taking us all the way there from Puerto and heading up right towards Torre Ahumada. So some interesting spots there for the teams to drop down into, but of course a lot of this map on the eastern side. So if the teams want to move up in towards that western edge, they're going to have to cover quite some ground to get up all the way over towards there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it a couple of times before where some teams will just decide, you know what, it's worth it to get into that unclaimed area just so that we don't have to take any early fights. I'm interested to see if that sort of mindset will come through here, or if the teams will be like, yeah, there's no reason to sort of waste time just running across the map to try and get somewhere where we don't even know is going to be a zone. So I guess maybe it's a bit zone dependent. If the zone is going to fall maybe on that western side, maybe they'll be more encouraged to start moving there quickly. Otherwise, yeah, I think maybe we'll just see the team sort of stay relatively close to where they initially drop, just sort of going around, getting in towards the zone when it drops, and yeah, just securing their spot in there. So very interesting premise. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see where that zone drops.
Yeah, well, it is going to be a super interesting one, and several players moving towards that western side. And we are seeing those two teams, of course, now heading up in towards Impala. That, of course, being the players there from Inkosi and the team there from Reluctant. On the screen there, of course, we have the players from, well, the BBC making their way around. Ooh, there we go. That zone shifting up in towards that northwestern corner. So definitely an interesting spread here with the teams as, well, it is quite a challenging one. We've got the players there from the Citizens as well as the team from BBC. Fairly close to the team from iEnvy and Vibrant all the way in that southern section. Then, of course, we've got Inkosi and Reluctant right there in Impala, as you can see as well. And, of course, now that southern section of the zone right there in Los Leones, we've got the players there from Gun and House of Anubis.
Yeah. And one of the things you could see on your screen there, a lot of the teams that are down south, such as BBC, such as Citizens, all these players and teams, they have two choices. They can fight their way north, or they can rotate up towards the east or the west. And I think at this point, maybe rotating towards the west to get up into the zone is probably the safer route. But I mean, we've seen teams fight their way up before and do a pretty good job at it. And I mean, that would make things a lot more competitive in terms of you could start knocking teams out or potentially get knocked out yourself.
Yeah. Now you can see the team here from Inkosi now hoping to do exactly that, just try and get that knock in towards the Reluctant team. But Reluctant also has their barrels trained on the Inkosi team. So let's see which team will be the first one to set, to set a foot in the wrong spot and have those shots, of course, then flying up with a quick little bit of a pre-fire there from Blitz to hopefully lure out some of the players. But as you can see, no action just yet. Ooh, Vibrant and iEnvy all the way down in that southern section, putting some shots in towards each other as well, as you can see there in the kill feed. You can see the team here from Reluctant quite spread out right in Impala. Inkosi seems to be slightly huddled up in their current position.
Yeah, I mean, Inkosi is right there with Reluctant. They, are sort of okay, English. They are sort of occupying a very similar compound at the moment, so they are very, very close. And yeah, that could potentially open up some slots for a fight. Of course, lots of teams concentrated down south. Once again, as I said, if they start moving up north, could also, once again, start those fights. A lot of teams already inside that zone, which is great. And a lot of them are sort of moving westward as well to start claiming that unclaimed space and put themselves in a really good position. And also this zone that we've got right here also doesn't really give itself to any of those crazy unplayable areas. So at least we've sort of cancelled that off the list of things that we might not have wanted to see so much. So the players will probably have a little bit of an easier zone at least.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not that easy between Vibe and iEnvy as the shots are now just flying up in all directions. You can see Vibrant just moving in, getting those thirsts. iEnvy, of course, still has one or two players left. So they are now trying to move in, trying to retaliate against the team from Vibe. But it is a really tough one. Inspector, of course, now the last hope for left. And you can see the natural killers also in the kill feed. But up comes Inspector, moving in with his shotty. Nova trying to get those shots in. Oh, there we go. Nova, man.
That's a very interesting one. I have to question whether that was the right decision or not, because iEnvy didn't actually have to go in for that. I think they could have probably rotated out if they had wanted to, because they were a little bit further away. And as soon as their two teammates went down, they didn't really need to retaliate in that sort of way, sort of get revenge. It might have been more pertinent for them to just save themselves and be like, all right, cool. Half of our team is gone, but we're still alive. We can rotate out and maybe play the long game. Almost treat it as if you had one player remaining. Play that long, sneaky game. Try and survive for as long as possible. Because I mean, we talk about iEnvy here. We've seen them do some really good things. We've seen them get really far. So yeah, I think maybe not the greatest response to that situation, but it is what it is. We're going to see some teams now heading back to that lobby 19 remaining. We've got 68 players left on the board, so just shy of that nice number. And, well, we've got a lot of teams just getting themselves nice and looted before they start making their way up, because that blue zone does take a little while to get in play and push all the teams inward, but we will see that in due course.
Yeah, well, up in this section, of course, we've got the players there from the outsiders, the natural killers, as you just saw on the screen, and then, of course, the dark dragons over in La Cabrera. So we're waiting to see what these teams are going to do. Will we see a little bit of movement? Outsiders, of course, just moving in and about the area there of the water treatment site. And the natural killer team is out in the open, but we have the players from Oxy also now just in hot pursuit, trying to catch up with the players there from the citizens as they're moving in, shots flying. There we go. So it's quite difficult shooting at this range, but it doesn't deter the players from, still trying to get those hits in. Let's see where Riggs and Yanni will get to. They were, of course, the last two survivors for the team in the previous round.
Yeah.
So, maybe, hopefully, they'd be able to continue that once more, push a little bit further into the zone. But what I'm loving to see on this one is that the teams are, in fact, going out looking for that action, looking for the shots.
Yeah.
And not just playing on this massive map that it is.
Yeah, I think maybe that owes just to the size of the map. It's difficult sometimes, when you find an isolated team, sometimes you really just want to charge after it, because it's like, oh, this team is isolated. We don't really get this chance, because with Miramar, oftentimes you can have a very, one-sided tip of the scale, in the sense that there's a very huge extreme. Like, either you can see no one for the longest time, or you're just in a huge cluster of players and it gets really difficult. And so when you do find that rare occasion, when there's that one team and you're like, oh, there's no one around, we can take this one-on-one, it looks very, very enticing, and you really want to press after that. So that could be what we're seeing from some of these teams here.
Yeah, well, it's great nonetheless, and the players, of course, now just all slowly but surely making their way up in towards that zone. We've got the blue zone on its way as well. So we've got a few teams in the southern section, that, of course, being the citizens, the players there from Oxy, BBC, players from Odyssey, Vibe, as well as the team from Reluctant and EFX. So just waiting to see where everyone's going to go to. Are they going to try and make their push up in towards that zone? Are they going to try and move in, or what will they do?
Yeah, well, that is the question, and we'll just wait and see. Of course, that blue zone is making its way on up, slowly but surely, just pushing those teams on in. Most of the teams have gotten themselves secured inside that zone. We have Temper sitting nice and central in the middle of that zone, as you can see on the map, and lots of teams now just making their way on in. You can see Unique up towards the northeast, just pushing themselves inside there across that line. We have the Dragons and the Natural Killers, as well as the Outsiders, sitting just, comfortable up there north central. We have a couple of teams just surrounding that, plenty of space. It is a big map, and even though the teams look really close, there is still a pretty decent amount of space between them, so they're not in any immediate action going on there. So yeah, I guess we're just waiting at the moment for any fights to potentially break out, maybe between the Citizens and House of Anubis, and potentially Oxium as well, or for the next zone to start pushing the teams in a bit closer, and maybe we'll see some more action there.
Yeah, well, as you can see down in the bottom right there, the players from House of Anubis, of course, now on the move. Skydo knocking himself out. There we go. Well, the match has now been officiated. Thank you so much.
Official Miramar map.
Yes. There we go. There we have it. And hopefully we'll see the action between the House of Anubis and Citizen players. As you can see all the way down in that southern section. Still waiting for that BBC and Vibe teams to make their way up in towards the zone. Reluctant, of course, closing in on the players there from Inkosi. So there is yet again some potential for some more fights, and a lot of movement up in that northern section as well, as we see the players from Quest moving up in towards San Martin. The team there from Temper also right there, and of course the Natural Killers closing in on the Dark Dragons. South rolling himself over. Here we go, as one would expect on a map with this with this kind of terrain that you've got here. So that's a pretty tricky one. So glad to see that the bugs were fixed where the vehicles blow up if they tip upside down. So that's a good one. And we just saw the players there from Temper putting a quick head into one of the players from Quest. Oh, the Natural Killers also making their way in. You can see the Dragons up on the hill putting those shots in. The Natural Killers just down below. Now trying to move about, see if they can find an angle with the shots back in towards the Dragons, because that's a pretty good position though, I must say.
Yeah.
Checklist really utilizing this one beautifully.
Oh yeah, he could just find so many angles here. If he continues to play this one well, he could potentially just knock this team, really do some damage. But he has to make sure that he doesn't get taken out, because being isolated on this rock could potentially be a problem. But if he keeps like playing, just dodging back and forth between the sight line, he could really do some damage. The Gren's even coming in to try and do some damage as well. But yeah, throwing Grens down a hill, definitely not the most accurate thing on the planet. In the meantime, though, we do have a couple of fights breaking out elsewhere, but all these teams are making their way in now. They're just streaming inside the zone, and as they start rolling on up, there's a lot of fire being exchanged between the teams that are rotating.
Yeah, no, definitely true. And we're just waiting to see what these teams are going to do. A lot of movement, and we are seeing the players here from the Dragons and the Natural Killers, of course, quite close together. Let's see. Will they be able to put some more hits in? Will we see those shots? Oh, there we go. We got some action between the players from Quiet Storm as well now on the in the kill feed.
Oh. Yeah, this is actually a really difficult situation. If the Natural Killers try and rotate out, they just put themselves right into the crosshairs of the Dragons. So this is like the catch-22, right? You can't push up the mountain, because then you're just going to be rising yourself up and giving yourself away to the Dragons. But if you rotate away, the same thing is true. So this is a really, really tough spot for the Natural Killers to be in, actually.
Yeah, no, definitely a really, really tough one. So we'll see. Maybe, well, maybe they might be able to escape if they play this well, and maybe just move up in towards a position where, Shek can't get the angle on them. And we also have the remainder of the Dragon team now just moving up behind Shek. They're coming in with some of that support. So let's see, are they going to rotate around the bottom part of that cliff and maybe swing in and put those hits in? Or are they going to join Shek up at the top here?
Yeah, I mean, if I was the Natural Killers now, I think at this point I'd sort of be thinking of a way to navigate around the bottom of the mountain there and try and maybe come up from behind, or find some sort of escape, maybe into the compound somewhere, because they're in a really tight spot. As I said, coming up is going to be difficult. Rotating away is going to be difficult unless they find somewhere else to go. And in the meantime, of course, that blue zone has moved up. It's shifted all the way towards the north, and that means more fighting. And you can see that in the kill feed there, just going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and the shots now flying up between the players here from Sponsor Gaming and the team there from Unique. As they're now moving in, you can see Berserk just rushing up, moving in for that first. See, will he get it? Yes, he does. Now he's moving up once again. And what's interesting to note also is there's so many teams still on that far southern zone, that of course being the players from Reluctant and EFX that we've got all the way down in the bottom there. So hopefully they'll make their rotation up, move in. And this is once again going to be a super, super packed zone. We've got 19 teams, 62 players moving up in towards a zone that's just a little over a kilometer wide.
Yeah, definitely going to be a jam-packed one. You can see tons of teams, like you said, making their way in from the south, which is going to mean that we have quite a clustered movement, quite a clustered rotation. You can see Panic now putting those hits in towards Hunter, just trying to get that thirst going and, just claim a quick kill there. But, I mean, even BBC is down on towards that southern portion and is making their way up as well. So this time around, they might just not have their nice, comfortable spot that they can leverage this time around. So the question then is, who's going to come out on top of all this chaos? We have 19 teams and 60 players as they go into this one.
Look at this one, though. I mean, Inkosi and the players here from Spaza Gaming just going at it. BBC putting some shots in the kill feed as well. Tempo also putting in a few shots. We've got Gun closing in on the outsiders. We've got Quiet Storm moving in on Odyssey. And then, of course, now, as you can see, the players here, Inkosi and Sponsor Gaming, Panic just trying to move up, trying to see if he can find that angle. Deity rushing in, gets the hit. Down goes Sunny. So Jasmine now the last hope for left. Let's see, will Jasmine be able to survive this as the team from Sponsor Gaming, of course, now moving in. Jasmine just upstairs. You go, ooh, running right into the thick of it, right into the teams there. And, of course, now Sponsor Gaming sending them right back into that lobby. Well done.
Oh yeah, and the shots just absolutely going through left and right. You can see Quest just putting them in. Quiet Storm as well, just trying to hit those shots. Everyone trying to get the crosshairs sighted on towards their opponents just across the way, trying to get those long-range hits in. Optic going to be the target of Max. And, well, they're just dancing on the edge of the zone at the moment as more teams rotate their way on upside and going to be taking so much damage. And yo, this is such a tough spot. All these teams trying to rotate into the spot, and everything is just being absolutely held down.
Wow, we're seeing several more shots going off Optic. Of course, that last one there for the Odyssey team side, and just trying to make the way around. And, well, it seems like we've got some shots now coming in from BBC over towards the team from Vibe. They have the Spaza Gaming team tapping off a quick few shots over towards, well, no one really at the moment maybe trying to get a few hits in towards Shady. That's off in the distance. We got the Citizens moving up right behind the Unique team, as you can see in the zone there. And of course, Gun all the way down in that southern side, right there with Reluctant, as well as BBC. You're waiting to see which way around they're going to go. BBC, of course, down in that bottom right corner on the screen. So let's see. Are they going to get any of those hits in? But honestly, just off in the distance, a really tricky position to be in. And the Outsiders, of course, now closing in on that zone. Quest also moving in. Got the Dark Dragons up in that north. Reluctant now putting a quick few shots in. Oxy also now getting involved in some of the fights. There we go.
Yeah, the zone that really shifted up here made it very difficult for the teams. You can see the hits coming in from House of Anubis as well. Oxy just taking them, and everyone's trying to get into the zone, but it's so very, very small. We have 50 players left, and I mean, even in Miramar terms, I mean, this is quite a small zone here. We've got so many players left alive. Now you can see the Outsiders rolling up towards the Citizens, trying to get a couple of hits in towards there, maybe occupy this compound, which is inside the zone, maybe get themselves a good spots. The shots coming through, the Outsiders getting hit as well. Everyone are just taking so many shots at the moment as there's tons and tons of people just flowing on up into the zone.
And we've got the players from, well, Unique just up on the hill right behind them. House of Anubis coming in from that western side. You can see the players there from Quest just off in the distance. So this is going to be super, super tough in just a few moments. As you can see, some more shots in the kill feed now coming in. But let's see, will Zero be able to send this Gren all the way across? Sends it right up in towards the Citizens there. Shad making a quick dash there, just avoiding the blast. But Bob, of course, from the Outsiders got knocked out not too long ago. All the teams are slowly but surely making their way in. And well, it seems like quite a few of them are holding up on that perimeter of the zone. You can see Quiet Storm now getting claimed by the zone. Optic and company there from Odyssey, slowly but surely moving in. Quiet Storm coming in right behind BBC. You're seeing a few more shots now coming in once again. Oh, let's see. Will the Outsiders be able to fend off the Citizens as well? Zero is pretty much the only one left for the team here. Trying to make a quick dash through the smoke, and there's so many players in the surrounding area. It's going to be really, really tricky. The shots now coming in once again. Ooh, House of Anubis coming in with a beautiful third party. Zero taking a few hits.
Yeah, Zero is basically done for at this point, trying to get the hits in. Can't make it happen, and I mean, I think it was even Odyssey. I think it was Outsiders, sorry, who really got the aggression going there. But they got a little bit punished for that. Citizens managed to hold on, and then of course House of Anubis came in with the third party hits. And at the moment, we can see a couple of other teams moving up now. BBC getting moved up on by a Quiet Storm as well. Gun just sitting next to them. Tampa in the north as well, just up ahead. In the meantime, we also have Oxium and the Dragons up in the north, so we've got a lot of fights brewing. You can see the shots coming in from BBC at the moment. Even Reluctant putting the hits now across in towards Quest. So this is very, very difficult for all these teams here.
There we go. So Reluctant putting in some great shots. They're taking down the team from Quest. So we are down to 13 now. And we're seeing the players from Quiet Storm, BBC, and Gun moving up all the way in the south. You can see the shots in the kill feed as well. The Dragons now going up against the players here from Oxy, just up ahead, as well as the blue zone. So it's quite a bit of a challenge there. Let's see, will they be able to make it in? Yes, Nero just getting on the inside of that zone. And the zone, of course, now shifting all the way over to the side. But the Dragons are still here putting the shots in. Rick's coming in. Oh, and down they go. The Dragons finishing them off. So just like that, Oxy gets sent into the lobby. So you can see that zone now over in that, well, the northeastern corner. You got the players there from Spaza Gaming just on the side. The Natural Killers in the southern part of that zone. We're waiting now for the Citizens, the team from Unique, as well as Temper, to make their rotations up in towards that zone. You can see House of Anubis and Reluctant on the side. The Dragons now just quickly recovering from the fight that they just had. And, well, seeing the players there from Unique also on the move. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it certainly is. And now we have Temper rolling up towards these players from, I think, Mega 6. They are just going to be putting some hits in at the moment. Of course, you can see on your screen your Citizens moving up, but the shots are really coming through. Berserker, Deity putting them in. Temper actually taking quite a bit of damage here. This is really interesting. This is a change of pace that we haven't seen before. But this is a really, really refreshing way to see these shots coming through. Now Temp on the back foot trying to survive. We've got Staples, Berserk, Deity, Panic. Everyone's keeping them absolutely pinned down. No more, they say. No more will you be keeping control of everything. And on the rest of the board, we can see the hits coming through as well. The Natural Killers going at it with Reluctant. Gun moving up now across with Unique. Just off to the side as well, trying to put the hits in towards the Natural Killer's Temper. Still struggling here a little bit against these players that are just trying to gatekeep them from coming in towards the zone. And that's pretty much what's happening across the board. Citizens, Gun, Unique, Natural Killers up here towards the south as well. So a lot of fights happening down here. And, well, nobody knows exactly how it's going to come on. But Gun is just putting the hits in towards the Citizens. And Temper now finally firing back.
And we also saw the players there from the Natural Killers taking out quite a few of the players from Unique. Here we go. Shots now coming up once again. Sparza Gaming moving in, putting the hits in towards Temper. Ooh, what a clutch that was though. Temper taking quite a bit of damage, but managing to land the final hits into the Sparza Gaming team. So with that, we are now down to 8 teams. You can see Flacco and company all just quickly trying to recover from the exchange that they had now. And of course, getting up in towards that zone. The Natural Killers now just picking away at the Dragons as they are trying to move up. And of course, we got, well, a few other players still, a few other teams rather, still in play. We got Gun right here next to Unique, moving in bit by bit. You can see Hainsley just holding up in the compound here, trying to see if he could potentially maybe find an angle. But Sleepy now getting hit there by Gun. Here we go.
Yeah.
The 6 teams. Ooh.
Now we have the zone shifting up to the north. All the teams in the south have to move up. EFX have themselves inside that zone, but we still have the Natural Killers, we've still got Unique, we've still got Gun, we've still got the Citizens and even Temper who have to now move up in towards a zone that's 200 meters across. This is absolutely tiny, especially in Miramar terms, but I mean even in normal terms, these teams have to squeeze into this one and the shots are already flying through.
There we go. So Slim putting a quick few shots in towards Temper, just up top that hill. And let's see. Temper caught in a pretty tough position here. If they move too far forward, the Citizens will definitely find an angle on them. And of course, the players there from EFX just off on the side. But nonetheless, Risk is just putting the hits in, getting that first in towards Shady. So with that, we are now down to 2 players for the Temper team. And, well, everyone now just putting those hits in. Natural Killers trying to rush up in towards that zone. There's 4 teams, of course, positioned in the southern section where we've got the Citizens, Gun, the Natural Killers, and, well, Hainsley from Unique. So everyone now just trying to find a spot to get in. Oh, there we go. Juicy getting hit by EFX. Risk now also pushing up.
Yeah, that was a huge risk. Speaking of, because
yes,
that was nuts. He
definitely.
just goes right in there, man. He just goes straight up into a huge crowd of people. I mean, that was never going to work out. I'm not too sure exactly what he was thinking there. But the shots come through from Natural Killers. Of course, we have EFX just up to that side of them as well. So the shots could potentially still come through. We've got the Citizens just trying to ease their way on into the zone, trying to take the fights. They put it into Slim, take him down. So we have 4 teams remaining now, of course. These teams are just trying to get in. We have EFX, we've got the Natural Killers, we've got Citizens, and then, of course, the 2 remaining players from Tampa who still have to make their way on up.
Well, they're not giving up just yet. You can see them putting those hits in. Flacker and Nos both just tapping away, getting knocks. The players there from EFX getting, well, Bait getting knocked out. So you got Mercury and Reverb now just trying to survive behind this rock. Bait getting thirsted. So Mercury and Reverb now the last 2 hopefuls left. And then, of course, the Natural Killers also trying to move in. They've got one of their players down. So, well, that is yet again a very, very tough spot to be in. 3 teams remaining on the map here. We've got a lovely drop coming down, which just, you know, adds, I would almost say, a little bit of insult to injury there. The only way you're going to get to it is to expose yourself and move up into that section. But let's see what will happen. Tempo, of course, now just tapping the shots away. Once again, Juicy getting knocked out.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult. The Natural Killers and EFX, of course, going at it. They're very, very close to one another, but the third-party shots from Temper really make things difficult. You can see Vile taking so many hits. Every time they try and get some sort of rhythm going against one of the teams, Temper's right there to just put the hits in and really take them down and do some damage. I mean, this could really throw an imbalance in between these teams. I mean, who's going to win between Natural Killers and EFX? I don't know, but whoever does is going to be really, really weak, and that's when Temper wants to spring on them.
Yeah, well, let's see. Will they be able to continue? We got them, of course, now just slowly but surely moving up. And by them, I'm referring to the Natural Killers. You You can see Hippo and Juicy. Juicy just getting rest up. Vile now about to get rest up. So let's see what will they be able to do. We've got Flacco now, the last remaining player there. Will he be able to clutch it out? Is he going to find the angle? So it's a 2v1v3. Good Mercury and Reverb there from EFX. The Natural Killers slowly but surely moving in. We've got some nades coming in as well now. And see, will Mercury and Hippo... Oh, Mercury lands the shot. Vile up next. Is he going to get it? Down goes Mercury. So now it is up to Reverb. Will they make it? Will they make it? We got Flacco also now slowly but surely just sneaking his way up into with that zone, trying to find the spot. And oh, beautiful shooting.
Oh man, Natural Killers are so low. Sure, they beat EFX, but now they have some more shots to contend with. Can they hold on for just a moment longer? That's all they need to do. They just need to take down Flacco, and they would have secured that chicken dinner. But can they make it happen? They're so low on HP. They're so straggling after that fight with EFX that this is going to be so difficult to hold on to. If Flacco can land a couple of clutch shots, he might just be able to take this one. But of course, the Natural Killers now just trying to hold on to what they've got. They're deploying that utility, trying to give themselves the best spot they can at the moment. But is it going to be enough? It's a 1v2 at this point.
Ooh. Well, Hippo knows where Flacco is. So let's see. Ooh, there we go. Some smoke in the way. So Flacco managing to hide behind that smoke. And Hippo now blowing up that vehicle, in essence, actually providing, well, either himself or Flacco with some pretty good cover. There we go, just trying to hide behind the tree, but the shot's still flying in. Oh, there we go. So Natural Killers coming in with the chicken dinner, finishing off with 12 kills. Well done. You see Temper in second place there, and of course, players from EFX in third.
Yeah, I mean, wow, the top two teams in this lobby taking away like 20 kills or something nuts. That is a seriously great performance coming out there. And I think this is a little bit more characteristic that we've seen from Tempa. I don't think maybe that previous game really shook them off and they were like, nah, we need to do better. But ultimately, still the Natural Killers came out with the chicken, which is really, really encouraging because, you know, I said earlier, we're most likely going to see a lot of these teams start to step up now that we're getting closer to the end, now that we're getting closer to the really big prizes. These teams want to step it up. They know they can't just let, you know, free wins. And I mean, sure, Tempa's a good team. We know that. We've seen them do really, really well. But now the other teams are stepping it up. Now they're showing their true colors, just like I expected them to, just like we wanted to see them happen. And there it is. They're stepping up. They're taking the chickens. They're getting the kills. It's really, really great to see.
That's absolutely fantastic, and these teams are putting up quite the fight and quite the show, I might add. You know, really, really making it super difficult for the teams. You know, it's quite difficult at this moment in time to say that we've got one particular team that's going to be dominating, but fantastic performance nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess with that, we'll throw you over to the analyst desk.
Thank you so very much, DK and Patchy. Indeed, an incredible match number 2 where we saw, once again, another team pick up the dominating pace and, of course, showcase that wonderful chicken dinner. That today is, of course, Natural Killers. Once again, taking us all the way back to round 1 and round 2.
Absolutely. Natural Killers living up to their name, having that natural instinct, so as to speak, the way they took those fights. And it was a very intense final circle, 3 teams alive. And talking about Gods and Temper, they were in a bit of a pickle over there. They lost out on all their players. Flacco was the last man surviving, but he did hold on. He knew how to take those shots, but the numbers completely overpowering them. And we did see the players from Natural Killers, while definitely being the one to be highlighted for. They finished off EFX. They've had taken a lot of damage, but their players were on the background fray. And there you go. Vile definitely being the MVP over here with 6 kills. And yeah, that was a good number. The way he played off, the way he took things over. Now, Flacco had 7, but still, he really changed things around.
He absolutely did, and what a play it was coming in from this team of Natural Killers. Of course, we saw them earlier in round 2 as well, trying to kind of bring in that wonderful pace that they have when it comes to the game. And this time, when it comes to the semi-finals, pretty much every team, when we move on down to that leaderboard itself, as we scroll through, one thing I was noticing was pretty much every team ended up getting at least one kill, which is
Yeah.
wonderful to see.
Absolutely. I love the way the entire game happened, of course,
Yes.
because in Miramar, it comes down to your raw aiming skills as to how you're aiming, how you're taking your vehicles, how you're using that as a cover. But right now, let's take a look at the leaderboard to check out how the teams have fared. So, Natural Killers definitely having 16 kills for themselves. This is the overall leaderboards, I believe, and 43 points out of it. Game is United Nation, 19 kills. They have been consistent so far, having the highest kills out of the lot.
Absolutely are, and of course, as you move on along, we do have EFX on 8th, House of Olympus on 6th, and For You Quest moving down a lot onto the 7th from 4th. Then again, this is just day number 1 of the semi-finals. Like I had said earlier, they will have 3 weekends to dominate in semi-finals, all 20 teams, after which, of course, only 16 move on into the finals.
Absolutely, it's just two games, and a lot of teams. What we have been talking about in round 2 and round 1. Just be
Right.
consistent. Those teams who
True.
manage to hold on to 10 points per game, they will definitely find themselves on the top 3 for sure. This is 100%.
Yes.
If you have to be consistent, if you are consistent, then you are over there. A lot of teams do apply those strats, not going in for the chicken dinners, but going in for those early kills and still somehow managing it to top 5 with, say, around 7-8 kills. They're
True.
good to go. They rise up on the top 3. But right now, taking a look at the second quarter of the standings, we have a few teams that could really step up, and Team Vibe, definitely a team that I really want to point out. But as we go on further, Inkosi Esports, Nibble ODC, Quite Stormy Sports, Blink, they did manage to, scrape through
Right.
from the round 2 to the semi-finals. But now is the time that they show their true colors. Now is the time that they give in all that they've had, because the competition has just got more tougher.
It certainly has, because as soon as these 20 teams land onto the map that is selected for the day, it is all-out war between all of these teams. And indeed, when it comes to that, even though we're looking at the final page right here, where indeed we're looking at Blink on the 20th spot, Nibble Odyssey on 19th, Ikasi and Quite Stormy Sports on 18th and 17th respectively. Again, when you go back to round 1 and round 2, you have to remember how these teams not necessarily dominated, but did genuinely showcase a good fight against all the other teams. And of course, that implies that after day 1, they are going to go back and try and understand, alright, so that's okay. That was just day number 1, where we saw all the other teams stepping in for first time ever playing against these teams on Miramar. Moving on to tomorrow, again, will be a bit of a tough luck for all the teams, because they're still going to be trying to figure out all the other teams based on the maps as well.
Absolutely, they are definitely gonna figure out, because every single day when we are having those mixture of maps,
Right.
all those new elements come in, because every single map has a different approach, and you just can't play Miramar like you played in Erangel. You have to
Yes.
hold on to those high edges, high ridges, and play over. You have to respect the circle. Miramar definitely having the higher land ratio compared to the water in Erangel. Both of them are 8x8 maps, but those terrains, you must be well
Exactly.
versed with every single thing. And Gods and Temper, yes, a kind of a decent performance. We've been acquainted to see them on the top every single
Right.
time. Now watching them on the third position kind of gives you that thought: have the teams really coped up against them?
Exactly.
Have they figured out how to counter Gods and Temper? So all those strats are definitely gonna come in, and as the league progresses, we are gonna see all those new teams as well stepping up. So yeah, I love the competition that is going on right now.
Absolutely. This is just, of course, like I said, day number 1 of the semi-finals indeed. And tomorrow we will be once again joining you guys with some PUBG, where we will move on to the next 2 maps. But nevertheless, that will take place tomorrow. Right now, we've reached the end of our PUBG Mobile segment. Stick around, please, because we do have Tekken 7 coming right up after a very short break. Hello and welcome once again to Umzansi Esports League by Nodwin Gaming. You're joining us live on Jinx TV, and I certainly do hope you've had a wonderful start to this beautiful weekend. After all, it is time to get busy with some esports. I'm your host, Bauer. Joining me on the analyst desk for this segment of Tekken 7, it is none other than Phoenix once again.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. And in the last week, we saw very incredible matches, and I hope the same for this weekend, because we at the first day we have one of the two most amazing players with us, who is Slyrisai and Lunafang, and I really hope best gameplay from their side, because if we talk about their favorite characters, Slyrisai favorite characters is Law, and Lunafang mostly use Lars, because these two players are quite balanced. If we talk about their gameplay, are quite balanced, and if we talk about the character Lars, it is if you just have to spam some buttons and you're going to have a move. Which is really quite funny, but I'm really want to see that how Slyrisai is going to counter that stuff and going to win the game.
Absolutely, indeed. That will be one thing to look forward to. Another thing is that last game that Sly went up against T4 did not pan out in his favor. So today, as Sly goes against Lunafang again, I'm hoping that it is certainly going to be his day, because after all, now all these players have played against each other for the past couple of weekends, and now they know the kind of strats and the kind of things to expect from their opponents. With that, what are all these lads fighting for? It is of course the massive prize pool. When you talk about season 1, you are indeed talking about 500,000 rands that is of course being distributed, and individually when you have a look at Tekken 7 prize pool, 84,500 rands for these 8 lads, which is phenomenal feat that is of course put together by Nodwin Gaming. But indeed, as we move on along, that is not only at stake, it is the name, it is the fame, it is to be the glorious number 1 of Umzansi Esports League.
Yeah, that's true, and you can be the next phase of Tekken 7, and I just hope that these two lads are having a very tough competition between them. I really want that the first game is going to be won by Lunafang and the second game is going to be Slyrisai. Then I really want to see both the players on the third game, and let's see what is going to happen.
Absolutely. With that, of course, let's get busy with this game itself and throw it to our casters, who once again are none other than Mr. Chocolates and Guest Maskai.
Thank you, Deskman, and welcome back to another big hype segment of Tekken 7 on the Umzansi League on Nodwin Gaming. I'm your host, the hostess with the mostest, Mr. Chocolates. Joining me today is the precious, the most handsome Guest Maskai. How you doing?
I'm so good, man. I was gonna say, still looking gorgeous as always, Mr. Chocolate. But you beat me to it now. I'm all blushy. I'm all red here. Damn.
Hey, bro, just as red and hot and aggressive as these matches are gonna be, dude. What do you think about our competitors tonight? What do you think about
Sly RSI versus Lunafang? By far one of my most anticipated matches of this. Definitely. Both of these players are by far, I think, are the most aggressive players that I know, and
definitely
I don't know who's gonna take it. I'm don't know who to lean towards. Both of them are like, it depends on who shows up on the day, I guess. And what do you think?
That's the thing. I feel like Lunafang is quick to adapt, although we have seen his adaptation fail him quite a lot in the past couple of matches. Slyrisai does have his specific crouch mix up that does make him a hard player, the Sly and Bry mix-up. But Lunafang has shown himself to be much more than an easy challenge. My man is, like you said, one of the most aggressive players.
Breaking news! Did you hear this?
Me?
Lunafang's a model. IRL. Like, he's an anime character in game and a model in real life.
Bro, that's why he looks so good. That's why he looks so good in his pictures, dog. Damn.
So good in his pictures and good in Tekken.
Hey, bro, we're gonna have to see if he is as aggressive in his gameplay than he is in his modeling career, dude. Because if it's the case,
him the look. Whoa!
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Lee.
Whoa, bro. We're gonna see some mist stepping. Are we gonna see some sick
Come
extensions?
On.
Hey, bro.
Come on.
Hitman.
I'm actually so excited right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see where these matches would end up.
Yeah, I did not expect the Lee pick. That's very new to me.
Definitely did not expect the Lee pick. I mean, we haven't seen him use Lee before.
Oh, starting already.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
nice
the back turn.
sidestep and the forward 3-4 big launch.
Dude, that
punish.
extension.
Bro.
Oh, this Lunafang is working away right around him.
Nice, using the down jabs. Big launch by Lunafang.
I keep forgetting that. That picked up.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. The slide just took a
Wait.
breather.
Dude, those hitman stances.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
with
down
the big
one too.
launch. Lunafang seeing through Slayer strings. Again.
He
just a
started
sidestep into launch, dude.
Lunafang's movement is unreal right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, doesn't see.
He got too excited. I think he thought he was going to hit the punish already.
With punish.
Oh, he stopped his damage there.
Ah, a slide of his own.
He's trying to bring out his own. Oh, no. You can't Sly and Bry the Sly and Bry. It does not work like that.
There is one Bry Master, and that is Slayer SI.
And he's taking out those Brytongs to get that set there, or that round.
Coming with those Brytongs.
I am the true Bry Master.
Definitely Lunafang coming in with an interesting idea. Trying to give Sly
It's
some of his
working
own
out
medicine.
though, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Tries to go in.
But that trade goes in Lunafang's favor though. He did more damage in that trade.
It still does, definitely. Nice whiff punish by Slayer SI.
Oh, they dropped that combo there.
Oh, yeah. Unable to continue the combo through. Nice. Starting to adjust his strings.
Oh, he hit a 10 string there. He was starting it. Oh, down jab to take it.
Sly RSI. Definitely working the strings tonight. Ooh.
I love that scream.
I tried.
I'm so glad there's a leaf there. Oh, delay hop kick from Hitman stance?
Hey, dude, you never know. Oh, that big launch.
He's throwing out that
Nice,
string.
while
Like he's
standing
getting...
two with punish by Slayer SI. Definitely.
Sly's
putting in the
picked
work.
up on that string. He's backdashing out that string every single time now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big.
Oh, it does the
Nice.
arm annoying.
Slayer
wait,
SI
wait.
taking the first round. Damn.
Dude, I'm just saying, you know that Sly RSI is on a win streak right now? He's won
Oh,
his
yeah.
last 3 sets in
Oh,
a row,
yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sly's definitely coming back and taking names. And he's about to be like, hey, Lunafang, let me just grab that.
Wait.
grab that name.
If he
up?
wins this, he's ahead of Lunafang then.
Yes.
That's
That's understanding
crazy.
to- Yeah, dude.
Like,
my man's making a
he's-
full comeback.
Yeah, like he was on the bottom. He was on the bottom two, like in the early stages of this tournament, like of this whole league, and now
Yeah.
he's climbing all the way back to that in the top 4 section.
Clawing his way, dude. Climbing the long wall up towards the very top, using his Brytongs. And
As like axe fixes to get through the
dude,
wall.
just
It's like I'm coming.
the whole time climbing the wall, trying to get to the top, showing people what's up. But let me tell you this: I don't think Lunafang's gonna just not. My mind words.
Yeah, you're right. You winning. That's normally my job to get. I do like get my brain lost.
Lunafang is not gonna just take this lightly. My man is can still come back. Strange
Yeah,
play.
100% he's going to switch to anime now. Like, he's going to switch to Lars.
Bro, he was anime. He exclusively plays anime characters. He played Lee.
Oh,
He
he's
is
stuck
anime.
with it.
Stuck with Lee. Well, let me tell you this. The reason why I think he feels that he can stick with Lee is because, well, Lee was
Lee's
doing
his
work.
new main.
The main man, Lee.
Oh! Oh,
So,
I got you.
what's up?
I got you,
What's
bro.
up? Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
It's all about
Alright.
Dragon's Nest.
So Slayer SI with 1, Lunafang with 0. Has to try and make some sort of comeback here.
Oh,
Nice
nice
tech.
tech. Get off me.
Yeah. Ooh. Big running 3. Ooh, trying the
He does that
misstep.
string quite often. Like, I think he's trying to get a whiff on it.
Ah, the slide.
Slide. Oh, another one.
Slide.
He tried to go for a 3rd one in a row.
Nah, but Sly was jumping over it. He was already ready.
Oh, that's rage. He's in rage now. Oh,
There we go. That
he
big
could have gotten more of
guaranteed
that. You could have
Doesn't
gotten
matter.
more of that.
Doesn't matter. Sly or Sice. Oh, the Hitman!
Ah,
This app
he's-
just come out. Let's go, dude.
And that's what I want to see, some taunts.
Ooh, what's going on?
He's jabbing him. Ooh. Wait, what happened? Sly's not moving.
Yeah. Something's up.
Okay.
Okay.
Might have been like he's control DC, but he's back.
Yes, something like that. Hey, bro, Luderfang was taking advantage.
Oh, they're starting it again?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to start this game again. So, might have been a control DC or something on those lines, but we'll be running back into it again.
Yeah.
So, yo. These movement looks hella cool.
Dude, it's cool. It's the misstep. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna redo that set. No problem.
So yeah, so pretty much what happened there was I feel like either Sly's control battery died, got to make sure your batteries are charged, or something along the lines like he DC'd or something. But they decided they're gonna be nice. They're gonna re-roll the whole game out.
Yeah. Really, like obviously, like the best thing you could probably do in that scenario, would be a bit unfair if you did.
Yeah, especially like at this kind of like level, you don't want to. You want to keep your honor, I guess.
Yeah.
But I want to. I'm not sure if they're gonna give him the first round. Like, it would be right to give Lunafang one round, but it's probably going to be a full reset.
Full reset, yeah, probably.
Because tournament rules. It doesn't matter what's happened in that set. You got to reset the whole thing if something goes wrong.
Oh yeah. So I know that was probably not the best representation, but what do you think the outcome will be? Do you think it's still with Sly, or do you think that Lunafang will make a
I won't lie. This matchup in general is a 50-50. Like, I feel both players, depending on the set, because they're set players. They're not in it for the long haul. So like, they either get tilted in the set and they miss combos or something along those lines, or they're completely online and they're going to absolutely destroy whoever they're versing with like complete momentum. So it's more of a who shows up, I feel. But yeah.
Definitely agree. I want to see more of Lunafang's Lee. His Lee looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like he can do a lot of work, and Sly has to change up, man. Sly has to change up. I feel like Lunafang was catching on to a lot of his stuff that he was able to use there.
I wonder if Sly would ever do a character switch.
No,
or is this Law his boy? Like for the rest of eternity,
bro. Law's his boy. Who do you think he would change to?
Paul. Because I've seen him on the online ranks practicing Paul. He's got like 300 games on him already.
Yikes, bro. Damn, dude. But Paul,
I feel like everyone's just like rolling to my main now. I can never dodge the main train. First it was King and now it's Paul. Everyone just keeps following.
Bro, just play Ganny, dude. No one plays Ganny anymore.
Yeah, you gotta be thick.
Yeah, dude.
It's all about that thick life.
Yeah, dude. Thick life for life, bro. Gigas, Kuma, Jack, Marduk, and Fukumram. You know what I mean? This is how.
But he's not thick though. He's like pure muscle.
He's not thick, but he's got probably one of the worst hitboxes right now in Tekken.
I would sub him out for Murdoch.
Go for Murdoch then, bro. Get the boys to teach you.
I'll get T4 Murdoch to have a session with me, and you'll see. I'll come and take everyone on. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stick to my boys. I've got my characters.
All right. Well, and so far we've had some changes for season 4. Not all of them.
I'm
yet.
excited for the moves.
We're like on 3.7.5 or something. What moves are you most excited for?
I saw that Paul's got a new. It's an armor, right?
It's another power crush that leads into a death fist. Yes.
Yeah. That move's looking really cool.
Disgusting.
But then,
I hate that. That's the thing they went like, hey, Paul plays like give him more death fist.
I was hoping that they would give every single character like an extra rage drive. That would be quite a cool change of pace, I think. Because then people have options. Because all the new characters have like 3 or 4 rage drives, and like all the season 1 characters are all chilling there with their old stuff. Like, guys, can we get some love?
Some season 1 characters had more than one rage drive, but yeah,
like Steve.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Like for instance, like Armor King could get a new one. I feel like Armor King getting a new one would be fine.
I feel like Huigi can get a new one. I personally would want some more stuff for the Bears. Maybe,
but they're really so OP because no one plays them, so you have such an advantage in most games.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking. I'm just hoping we get something that like will revamp Tekken in of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like each season,
will...
I just started fresh. Like I still remember like when season 2 dropped, and we saw wall bounces for the first time.
Yeah, yo, bro, that was insane.
Dude, I remember screaming so loud.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that was
like everyone just came like running downstairs, like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, it's Tekken season 2." It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I still
King's got a sidestep 2 that doesn't script for nukes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I was too hyped, dude. That's why I'm thinking we need more of that. We need more hype like that, and I hope that we get an announcement soon.
Yeah, like or a video of them talking about all the people's new moves.
Yeah, just something like that. Yeah,
just to show everyone what's happening. Because I know, like for instance, like T-Hawk's gonna love the fact that Horong's gonna have a proper hop kick now.
Yeah.
Giving him like so many more options. Yeah. So then, we just got confirmation of what happened to the situation. He Sly RSI bried way too hard and broke his L2 button on his control. That's he was too close with those tongues.
Oh my gosh, bro. My man was just, hey, you want some
I don't even know how you could do something like that.
You want some of this force, bro? I got you, man. And it's click off. There it goes. R2 button gone. My gosh.
That's funny though.
How do you play like that, dog? How do you play so intensely that your R2 button just breaks? I like to think that like
getting ready for the slime bry, and he's like, I wonder if he broke it. I wonder if he actually like broke the L2 off.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping.
So like it's like all loose now, or like he just damaged the inside.
No, dude. No. It broke clean off. I'm thinking he was playing, right? He's playing, had his control in his hand, right? Was doing the slides and just boop, it just shot right off. You know what I mean?
And that's why Dragon's Nest wasn't ready. That L2 was like rolling on the floor in Dragon's Nest.
It was, bro. He was still like going around. Oh, where's my R2? You know,
yo, Luna fan, give me a second. My L2's on the floor. Let me pick it up. Let me slide past and slide and pick up my L2.
Dang, bro. How do you
That's
break
crazy.
That is intense. Dang.
That's actually next level Tekken.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Sly SI, no R. So it's just Sly SI.
Because he lost that.
Yeah, he lost his R, bro.
Was it his R2 or his L2? It doesn't matter. We'll stick with R2. That's the gimmick now.
Dog.
He's a Sly SI.
How did he do this?
Round 1.
Oh, Lee bringing out that red suit.
Hey, dude, my
So
man's
tasty.
ready.
Yo, starting out with that running 3 already.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Both these
Sly
characters have such good like wall bounce moves.
Oh yeah.
That's big. Oh,
Very
he tried to get the
nice.
wall carry there.
I think he was obviously disadvantaged. Oh, nice sidestep hop kick. Bop.
Oh,
nice.
the mid check. Oh, big launch again.
Sly. No
Sly's
R2.
damage is crazy.
Nice down one. Nice, and Sly side takes the next round. Sly side at a huge disadvantage, seems unaffected by the fact that he has no R2.
I was gonna say the same thing happened previously at other tournaments. Like one match, he just decided I'm not gonna macro any buttons. I'm just gonna go in.
It's when man plays. He's a purist.
Oh, dude, Lunafang's pokes are like landing. He just needs to close out the rounds. Oh, nice
Big
no parry.
Very nice.
That should be dead.
Nice. Pushes him to the
That's
wall for that confirm on the wall.
Oh, the slide.
There goes Sly, bro. That's another every time Sly slides, that's another R2 button that just flies.
You know, He's got multiple R2s.
Big Dragon Hammer. Wasn't able to capitalize. Oh, big counter hit.
Pushes the wall?
launch.
Oh, nice push to the wall. Doesn't get the down forward one confirmed there.
Oh, nice. Using the eat defeat. The big
Oh,
launch on
the
the wall.
back hit.
Oh, the dragon.
Did he just hit him? Did he
he
hit him with a
waited
vanquish
for him.
special?
He waited for him to get up, bro. Waited for him to get up. He didn't.
That's
hit
a
enough
mind
to-
game right there.
Oh yeah. Didn't hit enough to launch. Oh my gosh.
Dude, Sly wants to close it out right now.
Oh yeah, dude, he needs to go buy himself a new controller. Lunarfang says no, still does a lot of damage there.
Oh,
Goes
that
in for a
slide.
slide of his own.
Oh, another one.
Again.
I don't think he pressed. Oh, big launch. Oh, he didn't cork of it.
Doesn't matter. Sly comes back with some slides.
Oh,
Rage
no.
or no. Oh, and that is it
That
for
is.
Lunarfang. Sly, SI, taking it. R2 button and all. Probably going over to Lunarfang's place to take his R2 button. He doesn't
I
deserve
feel like
it
we
now.
can give him the R back. We're taking that W.
No,
Slide
but this is-
WI.
Slide WI. That's his name. Throwing R's and taking W's, bro. That's his game. Brying too hard.
That's actually
What
really
the
clean,
hell?
that final set.
That was pretty clean. Definitely
He literally
showing,
punished everything.
definitely showing that he is still one of the more powerful players on the list tonight. Even though, as disadvantages to not having his R2 button, he still was able to come through and do a lot of work. GG's to Sly RSI and to Lunarfang for playing.
Yeah, those are
any-
great matches.
Great matches, dude. Great match. Any other takeaways, my man? Except from
I-
these.
And I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that it would have turned out if he actually played Lars. I feel like Lars would have had a lot more answers for Law.
You have a reason? Do you think there's a reason for him not picking Lars?
I feel like Law's his new character, so I feel like he might just want to stick around with. I mean, Lee is his new character.
I was
and he might just-
waiting for.
Yeah, I was like, in my brain's
Yeah.
like, oh, which character? Yeah, I think Lee's his new main, so I feel like he's going to try and ride it out a little bit.
All right,
Okay.
all right. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so that's been it from the UGC ZA boys. I was your host, Mr. Chocolates, joined by the lovely, the beautiful Gas Mask guy. Gas Mask, sign us out.
Oh, so I just want to say, everyone stay safe, stay sanitized, and I'm going to throw it back to my twin.
All right, thank you so very much, casters. Indeed, a GG game coming in from
Yeah,
Sly.
that's true.
Wow, what a play! I mean, we did not move on into the final round, indeed, but the play coming in was so aggressive. Not a lot of room left for Lunarfang.
Yeah, that's true. And if we talk about, it's a bad day for Lunarfang. He just thought that
Yep.
he can maybe choose another character except than Lars, but it cost him a lot because he just didn't win today. But I hope that he's going to figure out something. He's going to stick with Lars and going to win future matches. But you know what? If we talk about Lars, if we compare Lars and Lee,
Right.
he is a little bit difficult character to maybe you just have to be a little you have to do a lot of practice with that player. And if we talk about Slider side, he is very perfect with Law. We can see every time when Lee just trying to push him towards the wall, he just sidestep and do some counter attacks, hit them with some more strings and combos, and that's why he just get a win, and a very, very good gameplay coming from Slider side.
Indeed, I mean, very sly gameplay is what I would say, because again, when you talk about that side steps, he is so freaking quick
Yeah.
when it comes to the game. It is wonderful to see, because again, as we moved on into the final set of that second game, it
Yep.
felt like, all right, Lunarfang's coming back stronger. He's going to be able to get this set. But again, I'm in the reverse coming in. GG's to Sly, of course, because he's moving on along. And of course, that story will be showcased on the leaderboard itself. So if you could just try and get the leaderboard on our screens, I could, of course, let you guys know as well. When it comes to the the players that are playing as of now, we do have Dax PT on number 1.
Yeah.
Iggy has been playing really, really good.
Yeah, that's
What other player
true,
comes
and
to your name?
I talk about the player Callum, he's one of my favorite player. How can I forget that player? He just played with Eddie, one of my favorite character as well. But right now, if we talk about this player, Lunarfang,
Right.
he tried his level best. Somehow he just managed to win 1 or 2 rounds. But it didn't affect his gameplay, because Slider is he's so perfect to manage get 3 rounds win. But if we talk about leaderboard right now, Slider on the 5th position with 6 point, and Lunafang at the 7th position with only 3 points. If we talk, this is not that good amount of gameplay just coming from his side.
Well, indeed true, but as we move on along, there is so many more matches left to play.
Oh, yep.
As of now, Sly is the only man amongst the entire lot of 8 peeps who have played 5 games. So, of course, as we move on along, there will be so many more matches for others to play, and of course, we can hope that those at the bottom of the leaderboard will be able to slowly and steadily climb all the way to the top, if not at least to the first 3, right?
Yeah, that's true. And you just mentioned that Sly just played 5 matches, but Dax PT just played only 3 matches.
Yes.
And he just won all the 3 matches. This is amazing. Owen, what he's just having in his mind, he just played, win the match, and just go away. Maybe
Exactly.
he just did his homework very perfectly. That's why he's managed to win every single game.
Absolutely. With that, of course, tomorrow we do have Callium, finally, going to be playing in, and it is going to be wonderful. It is going to be GG's indeed. So, of course, do tune in tomorrow. As of now, we do reach the end of our Tekken 7. Stick around as we go on a short little break, because after that, it is Counter-Strike time. Hello and welcome back once again to Umzansi Esports League by Nodwin Gaming. You're joining us live on Jinx TV, and I certainly do hope you've had a wonderful start to this beautiful weekend, because now it is time to get into some aggressive Counter-Strike. My name is Blora. Joining me on the analyst desk, it is none other than the multi-talented, the incredible, and a friend. It is iSuper Johnny.
Yeah, thank you for the warm welcome once again, and it's always fun being here whenever Friday arrives.
True.
And we have the matches for Counter-Strike. And especially today, since the two teams that we are going to see go off against each other, we haven't seen them in action in a while, especially DNMK. I mean, they've just played one game so far. Online Kingdom, the match today, it's going to be really, really important for them, because they've played 3 matches till now, have lost all of them. So a victory is something that they desperately need today. And as I said, DNMK, they have a lot of opportunities remaining in the future. I mean, they have a lot of matches that are still left on their side. So the pressure is going to be there to get the victory, since the first one was a loss, but not as much as Online Kingdom.
Absolutely, because when you talk about the momentum that these teams have been going along with, the energy coming in from Energy Esports right off the bat has of course put them on the top of the leaderboard. But on the other side, as we were just mentioning, DNMK on the 7th spot with only 1 game played. They are, I mean, right now beginning with their momentum. There is so much that we are yet to understand from this team, and of course we can hope that they are the ones, they are the underdogs, so to say, that have not been playing right now. But now, as they keep on rolling along with those number of matches increasing, and hopefully bringing in that wonderful win in towards their favor as well.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, everyone's going to be hoping, both the teams, the players are going to be hoping to get the victory for themselves, and I guess the map will decide how the teams are going to play, because it has been pretty intense going over the match history. You do see a lot of Inferno on there, but it's going to be Mirage that's going to be played. DNMK just taking out Inferno, and Mirage, we've seen this map a lot recently, especially with the gentlemen whenever their matches come up, but quite an even matchup between these two teams, and I guess only the end will tell who actually walks out with the W.
Absolutely does. And of course, like we've spoken about before, when it comes to the team of the NMK, the momentum could swing along in their favor, but on the other side, Online Kingdom, I'm sure they have had a decent amount of opportunities, I would say, that they have been able to play against other teams, and now
but the thing is that both of them actually played their matches against the best teams that are leading the charge right now. So that might be one thing that sort of did slow down the momentum for them as far as the entire league is concerned. Even DNMK, the first match was against Goliath Gaming. So today is going to be the opportunity to sort of pick up the pace and carry it forward from here for both of them.
Absolutely is. And with that, of course, let's carry this conversation forward towards our casters and get into the game. It is going to be Shaz and S-Proxy.
Thank you so much, guys, and absolutely, it's going to be a wonderful match. Shaz, we have Online Kingdom versus DNMK, and I'm sure you're very excited to see DNMK specifically. We won't say why just yet, but I mean, they've played one game. I literally didn't even get to cast that game, and so far we haven't really seen what they're capable of. I mean, literally looking at the data, especially for Mirage, we have nothing from a point of, you know, Umzansi and So Strong. We literally have no data on them, so it's going to be wonderful to see what they're going to be surprising us with tonight. So if you're talking about this Online Kingdom versus DNMK, what are you expecting?
To be honest, I don't know how this game's going to go. You know, we have Online Kingdom, who have been a roster for a much longer time than DNMK, who is a new roster right now. You know, they picked up 2 new players, which are Dweezil and Divo. And like you said, we have no data on this team, so we don't know how they play on Mirage. You know, they've played a bit of Inferno here and there, but, you know, it was with the old lineup. So, you know, and also Online Kingdom not having the best of rosters. So, I mean, this could go any way.
We'll see, definitely Online Kingdom looking to get that win, looking to change it up. So with the addition of this change of roster, we might see a completely different team here. Already, the Online Kingdom actually taking a little bit of a fight here, ultimately dropping 2 players to the likes of Nexus, and Falls finally returning the favor, taking down Heartbreak. It's still a 3-on-4, and at this point, Online Kingdom are just trying to recover the pieces that they've lost so early on into this round. Bomb is planted for DNMK, and now look at this. Post plants are immaculate. Chappie's going to be rotating around to that ramp position, but he's going to meet the man immediately who is waiting for him. And now it's down to Falls and Sheer to get this retake. Oh, the headshots are insane. Sheer left in a 1v3 situation at this time. And specifically with all of the one-taps, with all of the time running out, that's going to be a beautiful round day for DNMK. So we're going to start there.
Yeah, I think DNMK did a little bit of their homework on Online Kingdom, sending Heartbreak that B apps. I mean, they didn't even spot him. I think because they played so passive towards B. We had the player in kitchen, and he jumped out in B, and he saw it was an open site and kind of had a free bomb site. But I see they still won the battles in that middle, and they landed up going towards A. So yeah, very well played there by DNMK that round.
Once again, I'm seeing that SSG Deagle buy. We've got a bit of an MP9 action this time around, but you're going up against DNMK, who've got those Galils. They've got the AKs, the MAC-10s ready to rock and roll onto what looks like a bit of a split at this point. We've got 3 players towards, that B-Apps position with Dweezil in that mid position, just trying to hold the flank, make sure that Online Kingdom are not going to be bringing them any sort of surprises. But at this point, it's still a default setup. They're trying to find, an entry into the site. They're trying to find, okay, where is Online Kingdom the weakest? Instead, they're going to choose to actually group up and hit this A bomb site. You can see Nexus up close and personal, just trying to spot out an early frag. Whereas we see DNMK setting up for this take. Now, on the side of Online Kingdom, you've got Sheer, you've got Connor ready to defend this, but rotations are going to be a little bit slow as they've got 2 players dedicated towards B, still trying to spot information. Now, with these pistols, they're going to have to do quite a bit to stop DNMK. Here we go. Execution going through, smokes out and about. The man already taking down Sheer. And now it's just Connor left to sort of give information to his teammates. Oh, he's trying to spot the shot there through the smoke, but Nexus is going to take him down instead. Oh, Heartbreak, what are we doing through the smoke? Takes down Ruben. It's a 2-on-4 situation. Make that a 1-on-4. As I say this, Heartbreak, you are just killing everyone so quickly, my man. And now you have to think about this. This is Online Kingdom. You got that MP9. It's a bit of a save round here.
Yeah, I think you should save that gun. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, they're trying to take a gamble here, maybe convert that second round after the initial loss, which it always is a little bit of gamble, but if it is a beautiful payoff. And unfortunately for Online Kingdom, they're going to have to look at another save. They're going to have to look at the second round here for DNFK. And break it down for me, I mean, at this point, we're just seeing, the initial rounds of this map, going through the paces, with that first initial pistol loss. But what are we seeing here from DNMK and Online Kingdom?
I think that's a very good round by DNMK, they're obviously Online Kingdom being on the save, but DNMK not losing 1 player, so that's really good for the economy, not losing any guns and not having to buy this round. And they all get to save their cash for this round. So I mean, it's very hard, especially on Mirage with pistols against rifles on A when it comes to long range battles. It's kind of a 50-50.
And now, I mean, they're going to be relegated to even lower grade pistols. You've got P250s instead of those beautiful deals that they have previously. At least you have 2 thus far, and that MP9 that was saved in the previous round. And look at this, a bit of a B-stack here, trying to get an early peek, trying to deter Heartbreak from doing the things that he did previously. But it might be a bit of a waste here, because we can see DNMK,
such a cheeky little boost.
Oh, it's a very cheeky boost, but as I say that, DNMK taking an A site. It's only Connor here to get the information and try and stop them. And Divo jumping 1-taps left, right, and center.
Spidey senses.
He can do that. Online Kingdom don't really have any armor to stop any of these headshots. It's going the way of DNMK. So I'm finally going to be planted here. It's a 3-on-2 situation with a MAC-10 and MP9 in hand. Online Kingdom trying to go here for the retake, but it's going to be DNMK's 3rd round. And now we start talking about buy rounds.
Yeah, this is kind of how we see how teams play on both sides, and I really like the initiative that Online Kingdom would do, changing it up, that sneaky little boost on B, and you have the one guy jumping van just baiting out, and Heartbreak doesn't even expect to have that cheeky little boost by the window. So I really like the the creative play there by Online Kingdom.
And now we've got AWPs in the hands of Ruben and in the hands of Dweezil. So now this is where it gets interesting. Not only is it the first buy, it's the first time we're seeing these AWPs being used. And it's such a fun game to watch when you've got AWPers like this going head to head. And you can see this Dweezil just hunting for that kill onto the A site. He's just barely going to spot out Connor there, but the smoke is a little bit too mysterious as he just can't see any sort of body outlines at the moment. And instead, Ruben is going to return the favor, takes down Dweezil with a response there from Connor. Finally, the NMK are getting taken down here by Online Kingdom, which is great if you're in the Online Kingdom camp. Ruben continuing this barrage of bullets with the AWP. He's on fire right now with 2 kills. Divo and the man left to try and save this for DNMK. But I don't know. In terms of money, they're not looking too bad. In terms of what they might be able to do this round, it might be a little bit more difficult than we see it. It's a 2v5 situation. They still have yet to find that entry on the cat position here. So Divo is a little bit stuck in ladder. With a response immediately from Khan, if he tries to get out of it, it might not be a fun time. You can see the man just trying to open up some space here, trying to get a bit of real estate, and hopefully trying to get a word in edgewise here, but unfortunately he's sandwiched at this point. Kana just waiting for his opportunity to take the man down, and Diver now left in that 1v5 has managed to escape in all the chaos that his teammate has caused, but I don't know what he can do this round. Ooh, he does manage to take down Ruben though, so it's a bit of a revenge play there for, taking down my teammates. Here, have a headshot.
Yeah, I think, just DNMK hesitate a little bit on that middle, control. If you're going to take middle, you need to take it quickly and then, basically fall out. I think they gave, Online Kingdom a little bit too much time to just kind of pick them off one by one, and you need to make a decision in middle, unfortunately, whether you're going to take the connector control or you're going to take the catwalk control, and then you kind of need to fall out. Otherwise, you get sandwiched. You'll end up getting sandwiched from catwalk and A site and window. So, yeah, just a bit of hesitation, I think, from DNMK.
We'll see how they change it around this time. Once again, as we said, the economy wasn't too bad, so they are able to buy up full AKs. And look at this, some good control on the A side, but the response from Online Kingdom is just so good. They take down those the three initial fights, with Divo taking down two. It opens it up again. Oh, looking for the third, gets it. Oh, such swift headshots at this point. Once again, he's just showing us what this one-tap potential is like with the AK. And now they have an opportunity and they can potentially plant the bomb and still save this round. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Online Kingdom are by no means out of this. They have an M4 and an AK at their disposal. Chappie already taking down Diver. That has been the big player here, but once again, it's a 1v1 situation. Dweezil, pressure is on his shoulders to keep this in for DNMK. Oh, but Chappie is going to rain out on top. He's going to take him down. He's going to save the round, but ooh, we're just going to be saving the AWP at least. With that kit there, they're going to get that second round. And now we start breaking it down because DNMK, they're on the save.
Yeah, I mean, Online Kingdom just playing a very solid CT there. I think, just, hitting their shots and having the right crossfires on that A bomb site, not allowing, the terrorists to get too much control there. And, yeah, I mean, that was a very close round, though. Came down to the little cheeky 1v1, and I think Davo, did as much as he could that round. But unfortunately, the round didn't go in the favor of DNMK there.
Online Kingdom definitely showing us that they've changed quite a bit from since we've last seen them. I mean, you can see this aggression that they're taking. It's beautiful to see, and the confidence you can see is brimming across the team. Potentially it's the roster change, potentially they've just done a little bit more homework, but I'm loving this right now. It's quite an even matchup, and oh, look at that fire taking down Heartbreak. It burns a lot. And Heartbreak can attest to that. So now it's DNMK's side. It's their turn to be on this deco. Only deals to work with. They're a little bit split up right now, just trying to find a kill. And I mean, this should be a round for Online Kingdom. If we don't see one of those classic deco swings that we've been seeing time and time again. We've seen, I mean, last night in the Inkosi Cup was
very dangerous.
No exception. We've seen what this community can do, what these players are capable of, and by no means can we just ignore the deagles that are in their hands. But still, already under a minute left. Not yet has DNMK found an entryway, and they first have to deal with Sheer here. The man going to try and swing out, trying to get a peek here. His teammates are in no position to help trade it because Sheer has a teammate of his own there with the superior firepower. And now, bombs been dropped in the flames here from Online Kingdom. So next is Dweezil, trying to do the best that they can for this round. 30 seconds left on the clock. I don't see how they can get this. You can see already Online Kingdom have rotated 4 players towards this A site. Need to make sure the DNMK are not getting anything else for free. Oh, Ruben, snappy takes down Dweezil. And it's only Nexus left in a 1v1 situation with only a deagle. At this point, make sure you die before time. Just get that little bit of extra cash with the lost bonus. And 3v3, Online Kingdom tie it up.
Yeah, I mean, Online Kingdom actually just playing such, disciplined CS, and I just like the fact, they're playing with one another, they're playing with their teammates, flashing teammates out, flashing teammates to peak, you know, like having crossfires. I think they're really playing really well right now as a team. And I think DNMK need to start maybe doing something fast, you know, try to change the pace up a bit.
We'll see if they can do just that. A little bit of mid-control this time around, as we can see DNMK taking some swift real estate away from Online Kingdom, already on Cat. Chappie does time back and takes down Dweezil. And now DNMK, they have to adapt. They have to change up the situation. They have to recover the bomb. But in the meantime, Divo, and Nexus are going to try and take some B control here. They have to find Falls on site here. Sure, going to return the favor and Chappie. And now it's just Nexus in a 1v4. Oh, he takes down Chappie. Finally, the trades are there, but he has to find a lot more if he wants to get this round. And unfortunately, I think it's just a little bit too much to deal with. So
yeah,
look at this from Online Kingdom. They're shutting down DNMK's aggression quite quickly.
Even that round, you know, the Util just being in such good positions, you know. Unfortunately, there was a molly towards Van, but they had a molly on the ground, so they couldn't even jump off, you know, from that B apps to jump into site to try clear it out. I feel like, you know, DNMK just, they don't have any answers to what Online Kingdom are throwing at them. You know, Online Kingdom see them coming and they're using the util to block them off, and it feels like DNMK look a little bit lost, you know, after the util's been down, you know, and the plan's been stopped. They feel like, you know, a bit hesitant on what to do, you know, if things don't go accordingly.
We'll see if they can change it out. Ooh, lovely little pop flash there to help Heartbreak get into connector, but Connor's just playing around these corners and these angles. Actually takes down 2 with that kill onto the man through the smoke there, and it's only a couple of pistols left. As I say that, like I said, you can't count out these deagles. Diver with a beautiful headshot finally takes down Connor, and it's a 2-on-4, but with the utility, with the pistols that DNMK have at their disposal, and Divo finally going down to the fire there. I mean, Dweezil, you've got a P250 at this point. I mean, look for a little bit of damage here, maybe even save a gun. Ooh, a little bit of a jump there. Ruben not hitting the shot, but he's fast enough on the trigger to get the kill eventually. And now Online Kingdom, they're in the advantage. They've got 2 rounds gap here, and they're starting to get a bit of momentum.
Yeah, they are. They really are playing a good CT. You know, that you can see they've done their homework and they've done their dry runs. You know, like what happens if, you know, window gets smoked off? Where does the AWP move then? And how does A rotate around? You know, the AWP falling out of position. You can just see that they've obviously had a lot of work on this map. You know, playing against, you know, those top tier teams. So they've got a lot of practice and a lot of mistakes that they've fixed.
And we'll see if they can keep fixing and more of them. Oh, Ruben there. I'm loving these players here from Online Kingdom because they're changing it up. They're not staying stagnant. You know, they're constantly taking aggression and
how
taking these early picks. Ruben, what are you doing? My goodness gracious. He gets a kill onto Heartbreak. He's on for his second, and now he's just looking for more. You can see this. DNMK also a little bit confused about what's happening. How are these kills being given away? Oh, Connor through the fire takes the kill onto Divo, and it's 2-on-4 situation. Ruben again, let me say my words. He makes it a 1-on-4. Dweezil has to do a lot here, but around every corner is a player from Online Kingdom looking to take him down. My goodness gracious, Ruben, finishing off with a 3K. And Online Kingdom, as I was trying to say before, they just so rudely get a 3K. They are playing beautifully dynamic CS here. You know, they're not staying stagnant. They're getting the kills. They're making the opportunities for themselves.
Exactly. Always changing it up. They're never becoming stagnant. So, like everything that DNMK is throwing at them, they have an answer for it. And, you know, also I think just a bit of util placements, or, you know, like just flashes not hitting because, you know, the upper middle shouldn't be able to take free range shots like that. You know, he should be blind if you're throwing the correct util. So I don't know if DNMK are just, you know, a bit flustered right now and panicking a bit. But yeah, look, change up again. You know, the AWP on B apps now, and the past 5 rounds, the Heartbreak's gone B apps. There's been no AWP. They haven't played on the balk, and you know they change it up again. Chappie takes a shot on top of the balcony. Just always constantly changing. Yeah.
Exactly. They're constantly changing, you know, the places of contention here for DNMK. So where they might expect and might prefer an angle, there's another one that they now have not yet considered. So Online Kingdom starting to do a bit of conditioning here for DNMK and starting to make it a little bit difficult for them because they're getting some momentum here. They have a 3-round lead, and DNMK looking to make that even closer. as there's a couple of trades here and there, but ultimately DNMK left to a 2v3 situation. Bomb still not yet been planted. They're looking to get this B-bomb side. They have to be careful of Ruben. My goodness gracious, who has all the confidence in the world, just running through to B, looking for that last kill, which is Dweezil. Have to see if he can clutch it up. He's in a 1v3, but he does not expect Ruben this close. And unfortunately, he's going to get taken out there, but I agree with what you're saying. It looks like DNMK are a little bit confused, and I was just about to say this. Get a timeout. Let's talk about it. And Chaz, you tell me, what do DNMK need to do differently?
Yeah, it's DNMK just looking a little bit lost, looking a little bit hesitant on what they need to do. You can see they have a plan in the beginning of the round, but as soon as, Online Kingdom throws like a molly or smoke to block, whatever plan they had, they just, start panicking, and then everyone splits and they're getting shot through smokes, and, they just look a little bit lost right now. And I feel like, I'm not too sure if it's a miscommunication on their side or, not being, fully prepared on this map. But you can see there's a lot of hesitation towards DNMK where, Online Kingdom just know what they need to do. They're like, we smoked off window, AWP moves, A players rotate around, and they have a setup, They just always changing it up, where DNMK just look very lost right now, look very hesitant on whatever they're doing.
We'll see if the pistols can give them a little bit of a boost in momentum. As you said, these pistols, players just start playing a little bit more YOLO. They don't have a lot of investment into this round, so they take a little bit more of a gamble, and this time they have to do that. Chappie already getting a kill onto Divo, so that's that big player. Ooh, Dweezil with the running one-tap onto Ruben, so now it evens it out, but Heartbreak, you're in an awkward position here. Sheer and his teammates are ready to take you down, and now it's a 4-on-3 retake. DNMK have done well to get the bomb plant. They're looking to do a little bit more, but it's all down to the man in a 1v4 situation. He does well to take down Kana, but there's so many angles to hold, there's so many angles to try and clear out, and ultimately Online Kingdom take their 8th, but DNMK have finally managed to reset their economy. Now it's looking fantastic.
But I mean, look at Online Kingdom's economy. That's looking very scary. They're looking very settled for the whole half of this map, and it's looking a little bit scary on DNMK's side as well. You need to at least get 5 T rounds on Mirage, just so you can kind of have, time to come back and have a better CT and work on your mistakes. So it's looking a little bit tough for DNMK. I must say they need to. I mean, and also like DNMK just like, I feel like there's been no trades. It's all 1-for-1. Like everyone's trying to play solo, like one by one, and then one person's trying to solo peek here, and then one person's trying to solo peek here, and then there's no trade, so it's just easy pickings for Online Kingdom.
And I think you've nailed it, really. Unfortunately, DNMK, they're just picking one by one, and I mean, nothing to take away from the individuals of DNMK, but the trades need to happen, especially with these AWPers. They're just running around with all sorts of free space here. You can look at this. Chappie taking down the man, still only now getting traded there. Ultimately, DNMK down to a 2v4 situation. They planted bomb. Diver does well to open it up. It's a 2v3, but they still have to find the players. They still have to stop this onslaught from Online Kingdom.
Good positions.
They do have good positions, but Shear's coming here from Cat. So if they get distracted enough, it might be a different situation. Ooh, but Heartbreak does well. Takes down 2. Only has to find Shear here. Ooh. But he's good for the 1v2 clutch, essentially, as he's killed everyone on site here from DNMK. He's going to get the defuse. He's going to get the 9th round for Online Kingdom. And now, I don't know what to say if you're DNMK, because this is definitely not what we were expecting.
Oh, exactly. You can see again, it's just the miscommunication, the T that was in sight, you got to expect someone coming catwalk. So you can't be in a position like that. Your teammate is sitting under lamp. He has door. He has your window. You need to be focusing on other angles. That round again, it just looked like there's been a miscommunication or not an awareness of where your teammates are. You're both watching the same angles, and unfortunately there's 3 CTs alive. You need to look at other places.
So right now, it seems like Online Kingdom have definitely done their homework. They're looking quite polished at this point, and it's a different team from what we've seen, and you can definitely see it by the scoreline at this point. It's still in it for DNMK. They still have a chance, however, to get this back. They just need to get these entries, and the man through the fire sacrifices himself to get the kill onto Sheer, opens it up. But it's a 3-on-3 situation here with that Kobe from Dweezil. Oh, throwing utility not in cover. Diver goes down. So he's at least managed to block off that jungle position, but you see Khan is in front of it. He has an opportunity to swing out here. He's going to instead try and just fall back, wait for his teammates. With the response there from Chappie, it leaves it all onto Dweezil's shoulders. He's on 6 HP. He's got a 1v2 clutch, and he just barely misses the grenade, but it's not enough to stop the onslaught here from Online Kingdom as they get their double digit. They get their 10th round, and it's a 7 gap that DNMK have to climb back.
It's looking scary, yeah, it really is. I mean, DNMK need at least 2 more rounds, you know, otherwise this game could go very badly for them. And yeah, it's tough, you know. Online Kingdom just playing the better CS right now, you know, getting those insta trades. You know, as soon as a teammate dies on the side of Online Kingdom, it's traded immediately. Where DNMK, you know, one player gets a kill and then there's no trade. And then someone else tries to go find some kills to even the numbers, and then they get killed, and then they're at a disadvantage. So, yeah, it's tough, man. It's just DNMK not playing the CS. You know, we know that they can, and just Online Kingdom just having an answer for everything that DNMK is throwing at them.
And now DNMK, they have a potential of getting another 2 rounds, but then they're going to be going into the next half at a 10-5 deficit. So it's definitely not a fun time, but it is still possible. It's not going to be over until the game is. So Online Kingdom looking to hold this advantage as Chappie takes down Dweezil. Stops that initial aggression here from DNMK. You can see they want to take this B side, but they're not able to take down Chappie. He's just got all the free space right now. And now Falls rotating around, taking down Divo. With a response there from Nexus, it puts it down to 2v4 situation for DNMK to try and get their 4th round. This is quite a difficult situation as Nexus is on 34 HP. They don't have a lot of utility, literally just now left to 1 molly across both players, with them splitting up, trying to group up, trying to get into this A site. The man is going to have to do all the work here as he tries to find the opening, but he doesn't see Sheer in this position. Now it's down to Nexus in a 1v4. Oh, he manages to take down Sheer, but it's not enough. It's not quick enough, at least, to respond to this this USP that's hitting him in the back. And DNMK, you have a potential of getting another 4th round, which is your last round for this half, but economy, it's stressed. The rounds
it's
are
very
stressed.
and okay, I'm just sitting there, nice and flashed, got the money. I just feel like DNMK, it's coming onto the training. It's so much solo play and not enough team play. Where Online Kingdom are just playing as a unit. You know, they're just always there. Teammate dies, it's traded, or a teammate is crossfiring. They always have someone helping. Where DNMK is a bit solo work, you know.
Ooh, Chappie's gonna not connect the shot there, so the man finally gonna take him out, and now they've got an opening into the A side. That is, if Sheer doesn't do things like this, what are you doing? He takes down 3, nearly gets the 4th as he puts Heartbreak onto 24 HP, and now ultimately it's a 2v2 situation with the responses here from DNMK. They're gonna immediately rotate around and try and find a bit of map control towards that B bomb site. Now, they understand that Ruben Falls, they've had to take that rotation. There was so much action on that A site, there's no way that they didn't rotate for that. And now this is a good response here from DNMK. I'm loving to see this because now they have a backup plan and they are executing it beautifully. You can see here running into a completely open B bomb site for the last round of this half. They definitely want to get this. So
they need
bomb
this.
Going to be going down, and now it's about post plants. Ruben going to be the first to try and take the fight here. Heartbreak is ready and waiting for it. This is a beautiful fix in their previous mistakes, and at this point it looks like it's going to be a DNMK round. We'll see what Falls can do. Last man to clutch it out here for Online Kingdom. Has to find the opening, has to find the players here from DNMK. But crossfires are pretty good at this point. Nexus and Heartbreak ready to take this. He spots out the gun, but has to respond to the player here on Cat, and is not going to be quick enough as DNMK finally get their 4th round. And now switching over to the CT side, this is quite a climb.
This is a tough one. You know, Mirage is a CT-sided map. Yes, it's favored towards the CTs, but, you know, if you so out of sync right now, you know, DNMK really need to, you know, I think take a tack pause or take a minute and just speak about, you know, all the mistakes that they've been making, because it's not going to be easy, and Online Kingdom aren't going to give them an easy CT side. You know, they're looking just so on point right now, and they've done their homework, and, you know, they're just playing together as a team where, you know, DNMK just looking a little bit sluggish and, you know, not playing as much as a unit, playing very solo. And unfortunately, you know, this is a team game and you kind of need to play as a team in order to win.
So I think a good boost of momentum is if DNK take that first initial pistol round and then they start steamrolling it, right? They get the save round, they get the SMGs, and they just try and take as many rounds away from Online Kingdom so that when that first buy comes, some of the momentum has been stopped. So you can see there's a double Online Kingdom timeout coming out now. I mean, they literally are sitting on a 7-round gap at this point. They're comfortable. You know,
they are comfortable.
They're happy.
But
So
this is
the
CS,
fact-
so anything can happen.
It's definitely CS, and that half change can always just flip the coin immediately. So I'm loving that you know, both of these teams are taking this as seriously as they possibly could, because they're using their attack pauses correctly, and often, you know, you don't see that from teams. They don't use it enough, at least from what I've seen so far. So great little bit of work here from both teams, and now we're going to see what DNMK have in store for us. The CT side, this is their chance to change it around. This is their chance to steamroll it back, get the momentum, and potentially take this W. It's going to be a lot of hard work, and we'll see just how they play it out. So this initial 3-2 setup here, we can see the man and Heartbreak taking quite a close position here, trying to deter Online Kingdom. So with those sound cues, they know exactly where Online Kingdom wants to go, but the flashes are just so good. Kana and Sheer doing the damage as they take on 3 players here from DNMK. It's only left to Nexus and Divo. Haven't even had a chance to respond at this point. They were on B, now they have to rotate around into what is a 2v5 retake. It's quite a difficult situation here. Nexus and Diver need to find the entries here. Oh, Nexus, you're going to be walking into the crosshair here of Falls. And now Divo, you're left in a 1v5 situation. Ooh. But the one taps are crisp, but unfortunately, there's way too many players to try and kill. I mean, at that point, you know, you just have to hit every single possible one tap if you have a chance there.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just see it's again Online Kingdom, you know, executing onto the A bomb side, and all those A players were blind, where that never happened on the side of DNMK. Like, you know, the CTs had free reign. They just would, you know, spray down 3 people because, you know, they could see. And I feel like, you know, just the util just as well from the side of Online Kingdom just landing perfectly and, you know, throwing the right util that they need.
So now the change-up is here from DNMK. They're trying to take a bit of mid-aggression here. They're on the pistols. They're trying to take a gamble here as they need to. But they're not going to be getting anything for free, as Online Kingdom are just waiting for it. They're getting ready to set up the utility, and instead, they can just hide behind the smoke here and wait for DNMK to push into them. So ultimately, DNMK, you need to fall back. You need to reset and reassess what you're going to be doing for this round, because you only have USPs at your disposal. So now we can see this immediately as they drop that mid control. They try and take Palace here. Heartbreak already within Palace. They have a good bit of information here, and now rotations are happening once again. I mean, it's literally the first couple of 30 seconds and we've had the CTs completely rotate already 3 times, as is expected of a pistol round. So ultimately, the NMK still have not yet done quite a bit of damage onto Online Kingdom, whereas the result is the man, Divo, below 50 HP. And now this defense is going to be quite a difficult one, as Online Kingdom are going to do a B split here. 3-on-2. And ultimately, it's down to Dweezil, the man, and Nexus to stop them with USPs. There should be an Online Kingdom round, but we'll see what they can do. Have to connect the shots with the man boosted here, trying to play it sneaky here, but Online Kingdom are just taking their time. Nexus is good for 1, but Divo once again left to do the impossible. Down to a 1v4 situation with the USP this time, so... Oh, it's unfortunate if you're, you know, any sort of fans of DNMK, because Online Kingdom are just running at this rate. They kept the momentum, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, they just playing so like cohesively, you know. They're, you know, knowing that even they have USPs, they still play together. You know, 3 people walking up cats, and they're literally on each other's backs, and they're checking every angle. You know, making sure that there's not that possibility of someone, you know, killing 3 of them at the same time. Like, all angles are you know, checked, and yeah, just Online Kingdom just playing really fantastic CS right now.
Oh, we'll see if they can continue that, as Nexus gets a kill there onto Ruben, stops that initial cat take there. Kana not in a position to trade just yet, and Nexus is good for 2. Ultimately, Sheer takes him down. Gives them a bit of equal footing here as Falls evens the numbers out. with Dweezil and that response. He's doing well as he takes down 2 there with the FAMAS,
Whoa,
but
my-
falls with the spray
what a
transfer.
Transfer.
Takes this 1v3 down to a 1v1.
Jeez.
Has to get
That
a
was a
4K clutch
dirty-
here if he wants the 14th round, but for the man, it's just as much pressure. He wants to get the 5th round for his teammates. He wants to clutch it out. And now it's just a waiting game. I mean, once again, we're just seeing such beautiful patience from these players as they're just sitting waiting for their opponents to make the mistake. Oh, but the man is going to
That
have the right
transfer
idea.
spray was clean. That was such a good transfer spray. But then again, look at that. Like, rounds coming down to the T, you know? Man. This is
It's
such a...
once again. You say?
No, it's just this game. I don't know. I don't know what you say, man. It's just crazy. It's going down to the wire and like people just hitting nutty shots and yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's the saying. It's like for DNMK to pull like around. You know, someone needs to go huge all the time. It's not a team effort. It's always one person needs to go huge. Otherwise, you know, the round's not in their favor.
Ooh, and Diver nearly did just that. He does a lot of damage, ultimately getting a kill, putting Kana down to 4 HP. But Online Kingdom, they're going to get the bomb down. And now, with their economy, they want this round just as badly as DNMK does. Both sides in danger of getting reset here, in danger of another pistol round, giving rounds away ultimately. And Kana is going to give a bit of relief for Online Kingdom. Ooh, with Ruben and that Tech 9 Chappie as well, getting another spray transfer. Not really, I mean, it was a transfer, but my goodness gracious, what is Online Kingdom doing? They're just getting free kills here from DNMK.
Yeah, it's
Players are peeking one by one.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
It's just solo playing right now, and DNMK are definitely not looking like a solid team. They're just not playing as a unit, a cohesive unit. They just so all over the place. Everyone is peaking one by one. They're not playing together. I don't know if it's comms. I don't know what's going on, but you know, seeing DNMK in the past, they play better CS than this. This is very sluggish, but not taking anything away from Online Kingdom. Online Kingdom are playing fantastic. Like, they just throw in everything they have, and they've done their homework, and they can just see that they're practicing, they're playing as a team, and they're playing with their teammates and playing, you know, for each other. They're not playing, you know, for themselves. They're kind of playing as a team, you know, and it's just lacking on the side of DNMK, and it's not the DNMK we've seen before, unfortunately. It's not the true showing of DNMK. But yeah, like I said, nothing taken away from Online Kingdom. Online Kingdom are playing fantastic CS tonight.
Oh my goodness gracious. Now DNMK onto USPs, you know, pistols, P250s, and a couple of grenades there that unfortunately do not connect with any players here from Online Kingdom. And that's all that they have to try and dissuade this match point here from Online Kingdom, going up against a full buy from Online Kingdom with the exception of that Galil. So, oh, this is looking so tough for DNMK. You really just need to have a miracle happen at this point if you want to stop Online Kingdom. Otherwise, they can only play for the draw. There are no overtimes in these BO1s. So,
yeah.
This is sort of the last-ditch effort here for DNMK, and they have to choose to save it because, well, I don't know. Do you choose to save it? Do you buy? It's a gamble either way. So for DNMK, a lot has to happen, and you can see Online Kingdom, they're taking it, so they're giving the respect to this team. You can see that they are expecting a lot of
Trying
DNMK.
to not make mistakes, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay, they're
But-
just playing clinical CS right now.
But the respect is there. DNMK definitely are players and a roster that you can expect a lot from. And unfortunately tonight, I just think Online Kingdom are playing this Mirage a lot better. But we'll see.
Definitely.
They still have a chance. Now with the rotations going through to this B-bomb site, they have the sound cues. They do understand that this is a B-bomb site take. They have to just get pistol kills. Dweezil's going to be good for one, but his teammates are going to be going down immediately. Leaving this down to a 1v4. As I say that, a 1v3. Next is going to be good to take down one. And there it is. Match point for Online Kingdom. I mean, that's a tall
I mean, do you
order
see
if
what
I've
I'm
seen
saying?
one.
It's you know, Dweezil gets a kill, immediately killed. You know, where on the side of DNMK, you know, Dweezil would die and then nothing happens. And then Heartbreak will die. And then the man will die. And then Dava will die. It's not, there's no trading happening on the side of DNMK T side where, you know, Online Kingdom, you know, teammate dies, it's immediately traded. Immediately dead. There's no even a chance of, you know, the city's getting away with it. And yeah, it's, you can see it's by the scoreline, just Online Kingdom just playing such fantastic CS.
And now they're looking to get their W. They're looking to get their 16th round, finishing it off so strongly. This would be the first win for Online Kingdom. This will be their first W, and they're hungry for it. As you can see, ultimately, Chappie going down to Nexus there. A little bit of a cheeky boost there, ultimately not paying out, however. So, Online Kingdom, they're down a player. DNMK, they have the numbers advantage this time around. They have a chance. They have the guns this time. They have the utility. Now they need to keep this advantage. They need to hold out for the rest of this round. You can see Online Kingdom starting to group up towards this A-side tech. Utility from DNMK is they're using such good utility now to just waste the time here from Online Kingdom. Diver up close and personal, trying to dissuade Online Kingdom if there is a push, but instead the thought process here from Online Kingdom is quite slow and methodical. Getting set up for this A-tech. No rotation just yet from DNMK, and no real information that they can use, so it's still a 3-2 split. Dweezil will be there to help out his teammates, but they have to stop all 4 players here from Online Kingdom. With Kana going from middle, taking down Dweezil there, that's a bit of an issue there. They don't have support from middle. They don't have that angle covered, so Nexus and Heartbreak are going to have to rotate around, and they're going to have to delay this retake. They're going to have to give the site away to Online Kingdom for them to get the plant, because they need to get ready for this retake. No mistakes can be made at this point. They need to get the kills. Oh, but Ruben instead is going to take down Divo. I mean, sheer down to 19 HP, somehow still staying alive, and now it's looking like an Online Kingdom round. Oh, he's still good for the second. It's down to Nexus and the man to clutch it out. He's good for one. Nexus is good for another. And now ultimately Nexus down to the 1v2. It's way too much to deal with. Oh my goodness gracious, that's the first win here for Online Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, can't take anything away from Online Kingdom. They did what they needed to do, and they played fantastic CS. You know, they played as a unit, and you know, every teammate stepped up to the plate. Where I think DNMK just fell off a little bit. You know, there's a lot of solo play, like I've said a few times, and you know, maybe just go back to the drawing board and fix those mistakes. You know, try to play more as a cohesive unit, because it looked a little bit, you know, like very solo, and it didn't look, you know, like you guys played as a team tonight, unfortunately.
I definitely think that they're going to be going back to the drawing board. Definitely need to just check out what Mirage looks like, how do they need to change it. But for Online Kingdom, with that addition of the roster change, you know, we didn't know what we were going to expect from Online Kingdom. And with this being their first win, I think they're going to have to be happy with that. So
yeah, they're looking very strong.
Absolutely.
They're looking very, very strong.
Thank you for casting with me. Ultimately, let's give it back to our analysts and hear from them what they say about this game.
Thank you so very much, casters. Indeed, interesting game coming in from both the sides, because after all, when the game started, it did seem like DNMK could maybe make themselves a foothold from this match, but
I mean, definitely, DNMK looked quite promising in the first 3 rounds, but apart from that, everything for them just like fell apart as soon as Online Kingdom they started. Ash has said, doing what they needed to do. On the CT side, they were just playing quite slowly and quite perfectly, just holding on to the sites, not being too aggressive, not trying to peek the angles and trying to spot out the players of DNMK, trying to push in towards them. 16-5 the scoreline. Online Kingdom taking their first win in the Umzansi Esports League and getting some points for themselves. DNMK on the other side, just the second game, the first one against Goliath on Inferno, we did say like Goliath were pretty strong over there, did get the victory against Online Kingdom. This was supposed to be a matchup wherein DNMK were supposed to stand a chance, but Online Kingdom just putting up a great show, in fact.
Absolutely, and that of course does put Online Kingdom on the 6th spot with their performance. Now tomorrow we shall keep our eyes peeled for White Rabbit Gaming, that is on 8th spot as of now, because tomorrow they're going to be going up against Sin 5. After a long time, we're going to be witnessing Sin 5 as well. And indeed, when it comes to the aggressiveness, it is again a tough match.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough match. White Rabbit Gaming is also one of the teams with a lot of experience. But Sinister 5, we know once these guys get going, I mean, they are this team has a weird strat where in the first few rounds they're just going to give it up to their opponents and just like try and read them out, try and see what the opposing team is going to come with. But once they get the read, they are pretty aggressive. But coming into the back to the matchup that we had at hand, I mean, Online Kingdom, I mean, they are going to have to be on their toes, because now with the number of matches that they have played are almost going to be up there with the likes of ATK, and since you're running out of games, you have to make sure that you do not make any more mistakes.
Absolutely, that is going to be a very important thing for DNMK as well. And of course, what a game that was. That could have gone either ways. As I had started the segment, I was under the impression that yes, DNMK could finally utilize this opportunity. But nevertheless, I mean, every point where we reach a game like this deciding of a game, every time I do have to point this thing out, that what you take away from a game like that is of course experience, and that experience, of course, since the number of games are so very low on DNMK's side, we can expect them to, as they progress along in the league, showcase a bit more of strategic play coming in from the team itself. A much more synergized team is what I'm expecting from DNMK. But indeed, Online Kingdom, GG's to them. With that, we do reach the end of our segment, thus the stream itself. We will of course be back again tomorrow with some incredible games, but for now it is time to say goodbye. I'm your host Blotter, joined in with Super Johnny, saying take care until tomorrow.